Not a new tax, but an expansion of the tax net. His comments come on the back of a threat of a nationwide strike from Bolt, Uber and Yango, as well as other online drivers, if government fails to review the decision. The vehicle income tax is paid by taxi, trotro and other commercial vehicles and has now been extended to cover ride-hailing drivers. But National Chairman of the Ghana Online Drivers Association, Francis Kwekutenga, says they must be exempted from paying this tax because they've not been consulted.
In every law, there are exceptions, I can say that. So we are also hoping that this time around, there will be some exceptions. Because our work, as I said, or as we said earlier on in our statement, there has not been any legislation to officially operations as commercial drivers in Ghana since 2016.
Have you engaged the Revenue Authority already on these concerns that you're raising?
Officially, we are waiting for GRA to actually engage that because we have sent them a copy of our letter.
Well, even though the Ghana Revenue Authority says this decision is justified, a tax expert, Francis Timoboy, says the concerns about the widening of the tax nets are not justified.
There's no timeliness of it. This is just the expansion of the existing taxes. Now that the GRA is trying to roll it out, so for me, I think it's quite overdue. Because if you started betting companies in August, why are you not starting the lotto people this time? So it's just an expansion, and that is what we've been calling for all this while. We need to enforce the existing taxes to ensure that those who are not paying come on board. Take, for example, the ride-hailing people. Since 2001, taxi drivers have been paying. Why are they not, in the net? So it is not about the timing. It is what must be done.
You heard there a tax expert, Francis Timoboy. Let's go to politics. The National Democratic Congress, NDC, has called on the Vice President, Dr. Bawumia, to account for all funds invested into government flagship programs over the years. His comments come at the back of recent achievements touted by the Vice President as he calls on Ghanaians to vote for the MPP. But speaking on a preview of the 2024 general election on the polls on Joy News on Monday, Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mustafa Gbandi, said the Vice President must first account to Ghanaians.
There are no sentiments to change about the Vice President. He is a man who doesn't have integrity because he hasn't kept his word. This is a Vice President who led a campaign of one village, one dam, took money from World Bank. Let him account to the people of this country what happened to those dams. This is a man who led one district, $1 million, one village, one district, one factory. What became of these policies that he promised Ghanaians? Now, the widespread of corruption that every Ghanaian can feel is not resided in pools. It is resided in the pocket.
Well, the Deputy General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, Haruna Mohammed, however, believes the MPP has achieved much and has what it takes to revive the economy before the December 7 polls.
2024, they have presented a budget to the people of Ghana, and the Parliament has so approved that particular budget. So many economic policies have been put in there. Other indicators have been measured and projected towards 2024, and we are very confident that the road that we are traveling on with regards to the management of the economy will bounce back, and Ghanaians will feel very comfortable to make sure that the MPP is the only alternative that is supposed to hold this country and make sure that everything is well for us.
Well, a political scientist, Dr. Asa Asante, wants the smaller political parties to come together with impressive policies that will challenge the ideas of the NDC and MPP.
We are going to have people, express their concerns and all that. And we expect that people will also be vigilant in the whole electoral process because after all, according to price, vigilance is the price of liberty. I mean, of course, we want to also see opposition party and the other parties also coming out with fantastic ideas that resonate with people, ideas that deal with our problems.
Let's move to sports, and President of the Sports Writers Association of Ghana, Kwabena Yeboah, has lauded the Ghana Football Association for rescinding its decision for the Black Stars to camp in South Africa ahead of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations in La Côte d'Ivoire. The GFA had come under criticism for that decision, but the FA confirmed the reversal of the decision at the final squad announcement here in Accra yesterday. Listen to Kwabena Yeboah.
I think by conventional wisdom, if you get into a tournament, you go into areas where the climatic conditions are congenial. You prepare and fine-tune for the main tournament. So I think the uproar was justifiable. And thank God the FA, I want to believe, acquiesced to the pressure. Whether they acquiesced to the pressure or whether it was their decision to go to Kumasi, for now, at least we feel comfortable that we have decided to camp in Ghana. There have been periods where the nation camped in Ghana, went to tournaments and did well. I was privileged to be with the team in 1991 when we camped at the Specialist Training College where facilities were not the best. We went to AFCON in 92 in Senegal and we picked silver. So I think it makes a lot of sense to settle in Ghana. And once all the boys are comfortable with that and the management and the technical team are comfortable, I think we can end the conversation here.
You heard the president of the Sports Writers Association of Ghana, Kwabena Yeboah, there. Now, the much anticipated biggest party of the year is promising to shut down Accra this Friday at the City Galleria close to the Accra Mall. The Joy FM 90s Jam will set the stage for revelers to reminisce over the hits that dominated the music scene from funk, hip-hop, pop to hype life. But if these tunes are no longer on your track, this is what to expect on January 5.
Deba, boy be peso GG me. If I baby no tata me. Why am I feed me who treat me?
Tickets are available here at the front desk of Joy 99.7 FM. Just pass by and pick one for yourself and your friends. That's it for the news at 6 with me, Hannah Odami. Please log on to myjoyonline.com. You'll find more news there. Have a great morning.
The boys are lined up looking for an opening. They are charging forward from our three. Kuku has his eye on the cashier, but Yo gets there first. He taps, and he scores!
Win your ticket to glory with the Absa Card Assist. Tap to pay with your Absa debit or credit card, and you could win an unforgettable Premier League experience in the UK or any of over 50 consolation prizes such as home appliances and shopping vouchers. It's time to tap your way to the Premier League with your Absa Card. Absa, the official banking partner of the Premier League. Terms and conditions apply.
Get ready to swing into the new year with rhythms that will captivate your soul. Join us for Jazz in January, a 4-day jazz festival celebrating the heart and soul of jazz music. Experience unforgettable performances from world-class musicians that will make your heart dance. Performing live, American jazz saxophonist Jeff Kashwa, the Native Vibe Band, the Ghana Jazz Collective, Kevin Flournoy with Lamont Dozier Jr., Myrna Clayton, and many more. Date from 4th to 7th January 2024. Venue +233 Jazz Bar and Grill, opposite GBC. Time is 8 p.m. each day. Price 400 cedis for the festival, 200 cedis per show. For tickets and more information, call 0233 233 233 now. Don't miss the electrifying soulful Jazz in January. This event is powered by the Ghana Jazz Foundation in partnership with +233 Jazz Bar and Grill.
No matter your water needs, Syntex has it all. Syntex tank was first to introduce double layer tank, and now you can have as many layers as you want. Syntex tank was first to introduce white inner layer tanks in Ghana, and now introduces the customer specs order, which will let you order any color and size you want. Syntex tanks gives you the biggest warranty of 7 years, which no other tank gives you. So whatever your water consumption, size of project, or demand, choose Syntex tank. Syntex tank, stress-free. Syntex tank, reliable. Syntex tank, maximum guarantee. call 0244 335 168. Kumasi 0505 555 666 or visit syntexgh.com. Syntex Tank, a strong, a tough.
You know, Papa, see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa! Bobo, so how your engine now? It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Quartz and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that. Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panzapa. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation Movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman. Hey, Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Bafuslango, I see your hands are a little bit full over there. Got things to do. Yeah. But let me ask you this. If someone were to ask you for your prediction of how things are going to go, let me stick to the power sector. How do you think the power sector is going to be in 2024?
Well, I mean, seeing the challenges that we faced in 2023, I just feel that there's going to be a repeat of it. It's like a cycle where, I mean, my mic.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, so we are actually on now. So you're asking me about
Sorry about that.
I think would be the power sector will be like in 2024. So I was just saying that I just feel that it's going to be like a cycle, like what we saw in 2023. Of course, the debt issues still linger. I mean, they tried to resolve it in 2023, but I mean, so I see a repeat of what we saw in 2024. I mean, I've heard prophecies from this. There's going to be a complete doom.
There was some very interesting complete doom prophecy there. But I think you've really hit on something when you say that 2023 was characterized by quite a lot of issues. I mean, there were points at which, the debt was crippling us, the energy sector debt was crippling us, and, ECG was having some real challenges in collections, which, I mean, they did fight valiantly to overcome some of those challenges. But what's the situation going into a new year where people are going to be taxed more, things are going to cost more, and people who originally never prioritized the paying of their bills are probably not going to do that now when they have even more demands on their limited income. So what's that going to do to the energy sector debt? And what's the plan that ECG has to overcome that? It's not just ECG; they are not the only players here. What's going to happen in the generation side of things? Gas shortages. Or are we going to pay our bills so that the gas will flow?
Are we going to pay our bills? Well, I know it's an election year, so I mean, and people are pretty much concerned about issues like power. So I also feel the government will do all it can to bring some stability when it comes to power. I hope so.
But what is all it can anyway? Like, are there no limits to what government can do? Last year we saw limits.
Yeah. You'd imagine it's an election year, so they'll put everything they can in to ensure that, I mean, Ghanaians are comfortable. At least people are already complaining about the taxes. And
that's what we hope, right?
Yeah, that's what we hope.
Yeah. Well, Ben Boachi will be joining us today. He's going to give a very accurate prediction. We believe, very accurate prediction of how the energy sector is going to go in 2024. So that we can all plan with it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's good for planning, especially for industries as well. I mean,
All right, so the 6 a.m. news was brought to us by Total Energies. Total, we go the extra mile for you. And Absa Bank Ghana Limited, helping you find a way to get things done. Of course, right now, The Joy Business Report is about to be unleashed upon thee. Thanks to Glyco Life Travel Insurance, Glyco, we cushion you for life, and Africa World Airlines, touching Africa, touching the world.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Joy Business Report. My name is Darryl Kwa. Thanks for being with us, everyone. Hello to our friends listening on KTU Radio in Koforidua. Let's get straight to our stories this morning. And the Ghana cedi ended 2023 with a year-to-date depreciation of 15.57% against the US dollar in the retail market. However, it was neither in the best spot returns or worst spot returns bracket. According to Bloomberg, here's a business desk report.
The 3-year International Monetary Fund program has significantly helped to reduce the sharp depreciation of the local currency experienced in 2022. To this end, the country's capital and financial accounts benefited from reduced portfolio outflows and lower amortization payments. Again, the current account recorded a surplus of $1 billion in contrast to a deficit of $1.8 billion recorded for the same period of 2022. These favorable developments in the current and the capital and financial accounts, according to the Bank of Ghana, impacted positively on the balance of payments. Before 2023 ended, demand for the US dollar eased following the arrival of the first tranche of the cocoa syndicated loan. As such, market dealers expected the foreign exchange inflows to increase the supply side intervention and bolster the cedi in the near term. Meanwhile, the cedi lost about 27.81% in value to the dollar on the interbank market.
And that was a business desk report. Meanwhile, research lead at GCB Capital, Courage Bouti, expects the city's good run to be sustained going forward. The local currency recorded some stability in the last week of 2024. Speaking to Joy Business, Mr. Bouti said the outlook of the forex market in the near term is stable.
As we speak, with news of the cocoa loan sign, you could see that the market is responding accordingly. We've seen rates on the retail market now doing about 12.15 thereabouts, and are inching down from 12.3 prior to the announcement that Cocoa Board has signed a loan. So I guess it's filtering through the market well. Those levels are relatively stable, and compared to where we ended last year and all of that, it is not much depreciation on the retail market side of things, really. So not bad after all. It's been a good year for the city, at least. Given the weak fundamentals we had and the worst fears we all had at the start of the year.
All right, that was Courage Bouti, who is research lead at GCB Capital. Away from the city, and the new World Bank Country Director, Dr. Robert O'Brien, is expected to assume office today. The economist is taking over from Pierre Laporte, who finally left town last week. But what might be the immediate priority of Dr. O'Brien? Here's George Affe with more.
Based on our engagement with officials in Washington, D.C., USA, one of his immediate priorities as the new World Bank Country Director is to see how the $300 million budget support can be advanced to Ghana on time. Now, that would be dependent on Ghana reaching a deal with its bilateral creditors this week on the proposed terms to restructure their debts. This will pave the way for the IMF board to meet on Ghana on January 11, 2024 and approve the $600 million to Ghana. Another issue that will be on Dr. O'Brien's table will be how some project funds that have been set aside for Ghana is indeed utilized on time. This is because the World Bank has indicated that it will assign these funds back to Washington, D.C., USA if the necessary drawdowns are not done by June 2024. Dr. O'Brien is taking over at the time that Ghana is said to have received record $1.6 billion over the past 4 years, and he's going to work on advancing more support to the country. He's also expected to press ahead with programs aimed at reducing poverty in the country.
That was George Affairs report. Now, a senior finance lecturer at the University of Cape Coast, Sarah Mkawo, says Ghana is likely to receive the second tranche International Monetary Fund bailout package latest by March this year. According to him, the delay in reaching an agreement with China will push the disbursement of the funds further to March. He explains the government must expedite efforts to reach an agreement with China.
So last year, when we could not get the deal in November, and then December it couldn't happen, I predicted that we would have the deal going through if we do what the IMF is expecting us to do by the close of the first quarter of this year. If we are expecting that it will happen in January, I'm sorry, looking at what has happened over the period, we should be prudent when we are trying to forecast. Latest at the end of the quarter, that will be in March, we should expect this money. If it comes earlier, it's good news for us. Government needs to really look at the proposal that they have made to them. That will be favorable to them for them also to accept the deal at the end of the period.
Sarah Mkawo is senior finance lecturer at the University of Cape Coast. Turning to a Greek now, and the General Agricultural Workers Union is mounting pressure on government to implement phase 2 of the Planting for Food and Jobs program to improve food security in the country. According to the union, the expeditious rollout of the program will largely support government's quest in ensuring food security. Speaking to Joy Business, General Secretary Edward Carware advised government to also pay attention to food inflation this year.
The food security into the 2024 is precarious in the sense that you may find food within the system. Like I'm talking about the rice that is being dumped into the market. But you see, you need to have money to be able to access that. You know, those who have incomes will say that, oh, we can buy the rice and then use it. It matters not whether that rice is from the local producers or imported. For the consumer, once he has enough money to purchase the rice, then they will do so. But for the majority of the people who do not have incomes, because they are not wage earners, or even if they are wage earners, they have so much responsibilities on their heads they need to use their wages for, will end up not being able to buy enough. So food security is going to be a problem in 2024.
You heard the General Secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union, Edward Caraway. Now, the Executive Director of the Center for Financial Literacy Education Africa, Peter Nyako, is urging the public to engage in prudent spending and solely spend on basic necessities to reduce the impact of the increase in taxes on their pockets. The Ghana Revenue Authority is expected to start implementing 5 new tax bills this year. However, Mr. Nyako says individuals can mitigate the impact of the new taxes by ensuring they cut down on spending on luxurious lifestyles.
You need to prioritize your budget, and this is where you have to spend on your basic necessities, because you won't have enough money to spend on all your desires. So here, because taxes are being increased, consumers should focus on spending on their basic necessities. When you talk about basic necessities, you are talking about your needs, what you need so your life can move on. So in 2024, ask yourself, what do you need for your life to move on? You need a place to put your head. So we can talk about shelter, we can talk about rent, we can talk about food, we can talk about transport. So consumers should focus more on spending on their basic necessities. On the other side, consumers should also focus on cutting down on luxury, because luxuries come with taxes.
And you heard there Peter Nyako, who is the Executive Director of the Center for Financial Literacy Africa. You have been listening to the Joy Business Report. Before we go, let's check the markets for you. Let's do the currency market this morning. The cedi going for the dollar, rather, going for 12 cedis, 18 pesos. On the retail market, the pound going for 15 cedis, 25 pesos, and the euro going for 13 cedis, 25 pesos. There's more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for listening. The Super Morning Show continues with Kojo Yangsin, who is right here with me at this point. This time I was the one who.
This time you forgot to switch on my.
Yeah, but Kojo Yangsin is here to continue with the Super Morning Show.
We got something good, right? I think it's called Praise.
Praise.
Yes, Maverick City. Elevation Worship featuring Maverick City.
It's actually one of my favorite songs of late.
Nice.
So, good choice for the morning.
Let's enjoy.
All right.
Let's cut. 1, 2, hey.
Ojawum, Yes, that's how we're kicking things off on the 2nd of January, right here on the Super Morning Show. Hello, Ray.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm alright. Good to see you. These days, you are getting into the whole finance minister type of fashion situation. Why?
Please, everybody knows that I wear white.
Everybody?
Yes, it was more recently because of other people that I was afraid to wear the white.
Which other people?
Because, nowadays the white has become synonymous with certain things.
With budget?
Yes.
With budgetary concerns.
And other, not so wonderful descriptions. So I am really
you are inching your way back.
When I wear the white, I have to wear something else too. So white, black, white, blue. So that I don't want the trouble of it. Extension.
Anyway, that was our inspirational song brought to us
yes,
by.
wonderful song.
Yes, very nice. Duraplast Ghana Limited, producers of quality PVC and HDPE pipes, as well as water tank. The only water storage tank with a level indicator. Where Duraplast goes, water flows.
Now, our Drive Safe campaign is brought to you by Joy News and the Multimedia Group, and supported by Toyota Superior Quality. Kojo, at some point we should be able to get government to fix the section of the road from Malam Junction straight down to the toll booth. If you live there, that small section can take a chunk of your travel time and give you so much headache. The potholes, the difficulties, and sometimes you just realize that the only reason why there will be some massive traffic is because everybody has to navigate that section with some carefulness, as if they are traveling some rural roads, and this links so many regions.
And this is a dual carriageway.
I cannot understand how we allow the road to deteriorate. They will sit and watch it because ministers use the same place, members of parliament use the same place, but we all want to see more accidents happen, or perhaps somebody who is in a privileged position involved in an accident there, before we now wake up to say that. But the ordinary people that use it every day, that suffer to go through some of these, they pay tax too.
Some of them
why can't we fix it?
Some of them are design faults. So it's not even a matter of poor maintenance, which of course is a problem in Ghana regardless. So you're right about that. But the construction itself was not done with wisdom in mind. Let me just say it that way. Because you see, wherever you are situating a road, you have to consider the environment. You have to understand the ecosystem in which you are placing this road. Okay, and if you know that you have loose earth on either side, that anytime it rains, in fact sometimes it doesn't even have to rain.
Yeah.
Right? The earth
winds,
is going to move and roll all the way down and gather on the edges, and then and that is the exact point at which you construct your road in a way that creates a bowl at the edge, so that whatever rocks or loose sand falls onto that part of the road stays there. It has nowhere to flow off. There's no drainage way for it to go. No matter how heavily it rains, that water, that mud and water will just stay there and take up 1-2 lanes. That is just a lack of wisdom in construction, in design. Okay, because you knew where you were placing the road.
You're very much aware.
Yeah.
But you knew the topography even before you decided that this is where we're going to actually put this now.
Thank you. So you see, even before your maintenance wahala starts, you have basically failed to think your way out of the problem.
I don't know if it's a clearest example of the kind of people who are designing and implementing some of these structures, or we are just incompetent at the core. There should be something wrong with us leaving such a structure there and causing all the problems that we see on that stretch. And by the time you move beyond that, you'll be shocked why this small section is the biggest headache. Of course, there are other problems too, but it's the biggest headache you find on that stretch anyway.
So, of course, it's time for us to Say It Right, brought to us by Kingdom Books. At Kingdom, quality and affordability are their hallmarks, and Societe Generale Bank Ghana, the future is you. We'll come to Say It Right in just a moment. But first, of course, we are yet to get our newspapers, but let me tell you about a story that is of interest. Okay, the Ghana Revenue Authority has revealed that an amount of 1.6 billion cedis has been realized within 3 months of pursuing the accounts of Ghanaians who reside outside the country. Now, the authority says that they discovered that there is over $2.8 billion just sitting in these accounts without compliance with tax obligations. Now, the Commissioner General, Dr. Amishadai Osu Amwa, was talking about this when he spoke to George Riafe. Let's listen to him.
This year, as I speak, we have data of 70,000 accounts outside Ghana coming from 45 countries, and that is the first one we have received. The next one we are expecting, which will come early January, is coming from 80 countries. And for the 40 countries, the total value of the 70,000 accounts of Ghanaian residents outside is $2.8 billion. And when we started working on it in terms of looking at the potential tax, because it doesn't necessarily mean that when you have an account, but because we have to engage you and find out what's the source of the money and things like that, and then we'll be able to establish whether tax has been paid already or tax has not been paid already. And in 2 months when we started, we've already, I don't want to say raised that means that we have collected. We have raised the tax liability of about 1.6 billion Ghana cedis, not dollars. I'm saying that the amounts, the balances that we receive is 2.8 billion. The tax we have raised in 3 months for only 400 out of the 70,000 accounts is 1.6 billion Ghana cedis.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Fascinating. So they've obviously found a very rich vein, of tax to tap into. In 3 months, they've raked in 1.8 billion Ghana cedis. That's promising. But is this an area of taxation that people are aware of? I mean, are people failing to comply because they are avoiding the tax?
Or perhaps the institutions should be collaborating with the GRA more, because ideally somebody should be alerting the relevant institutions. In fact, I think it's $10,000 or so when it drops into your account. FIC should know and all of that. So it should be easy for us to monitor how much money it's in whichever system that we find ourselves in, so that it doesn't cause us the other problems. Because money supply is always a difficulty in this country. Yeah. So we do not have that difficulty with people refusing to pay taxes on things they're supposed to pay the tax on, because we then have to heap all the taxes on some of the poor people who are struggling to get very small money, and we have to do other forms of taxation which they complain about every other day to make sure that we reap the monies required. It's almost like a section refusing to contribute directly, or in this case indirectly, to the development of the country.
Now, speaking of tax, here's another interesting story. Tax expert Francis Timor Boy says the implementation of vehicle income tax, which is expected to take effect from today really, is long overdue. Now, he argues that it's not a new tax but an expansion of the tax net. He was talking on the back of a threat of nationwide strikes from Bolt, Uber, Yango and other online drivers if government fails to review their decision. Now, this vehicle income tax is paid by taxis, trotros and other commercial vehicles. It's simply been extended now to cover the ride-hailing drivers. But the national chairman of the Ghana Online Drivers Association, Francis Kweku Tenge, says that, look, they must be exempted from paying this tax because they have not been consulted on the matter. Let's listen to him.
In every law, there are exceptions, I can say that. So we are also hoping that this time around, there will be some exceptions. Because our work, as I said, or as we said earlier on in our statement, there has not been any legislation to officially operations as commercial drivers in Ghana since 2016.
Have you engaged the Revenue Authority already on these concerns that you're raising?
Officially, we are waiting for GRA to actually engage us because we have sent them a copy of our letter. So we don't know who to actually engage. So should they receive it, they have to actually call us so that we can actually talk to the appropriate authorities. The GRA is a very big institution. You might be speaking to someone who's not actually a final decision maker.
Why are you not willing to, just comply simply deal with, for instance, the applications that you work with?
Myself, I'm an accountant, so it is good to pay tax, and I know the importance of tax. Every driver in Ghana is already paying a value-added tax of 21.9% since July 1st, 2023. The reason why we are angry at this point was that when that was instituted first time, GRA didn't engage us.
It's important that we deepen and widen the net. And if there are some industry players, some sectors that are not in, it's important that we keep on looking at it. But the important thing is the fact that these are all business lines that are coming up. As the economy is dynamic, and we see these changes coming, if you don't also become dynamic and open your eyes, when I say open your eyes, focus and be also, we will not be able to live. So we want Ghanaians to understand that we have heard their cry for us to widen the tax net. We are looking at the people who are not already in. So we are bringing them in. They should appreciate it and clap for us for bringing them in, rather than saying why you bringing this one.
I think that
for example, the electricians.
Yeah, they say they were not consulted.
Yeah, consultation is good. It's wonderful before the implementation of most policies. But, we should agree that generally, if it's income, and we have exemptions of a few people, including the President of the Republic, which some of us disagree anyway, but some people justify it. If it's income, we have agreed it should be taxed. So it cannot be that the cocoa farmers' income can be taxed. It cannot be that the income of Kojoansin can be taxed. Then, in your case, your income from the job you are doing is exempted for some other reason.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we do it to promote that sector and for a period of time. If it has come to our attention that so much money is within that space and scope and ought to be taxed, I agree with that principle. It's a sensible one. It's one that countries explore and project across the world. My only difficulty is how we do the policy in this country. If you have plans of doing so, there's nothing wrong with engaging the people.
Indeed.
You may even have a better way of actually doing it if you sat on the table with them or with their representatives or with the institutions like that actually engage these ones. We do it almost as if it's some dictatorial regime where a taxman holds that gavel and say, hey, then he hits you are paying tomorrow, whether you like it or not. When you get that, the other part where people are supposed to be citizens contribute to the collective good, they would oppose it.
Yeah.
And when they oppose it, we know how we do our business in this republic. They will find ways of avoiding and always evading and all the illegal, unconscious. Yes. So we should be able to get people to buy into things before we lead out to the enrollment. But I'm also sad that I'm sure very soon they'll increase the price of Bolt,
no doubt,
the Uber, with the masses. It is compounding our transportation problems.
Yeah, but
you get my point.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, taxi and trotro drivers who have been paying this tax, they will argue that perhaps this will make them more competitive. It will level the playing field a little bit more between the Bolts and Ubers and the taxis, for example, who have complained of losing a lot of business to the ride-hailing companies that seem to be more economical in their fares, right? So maybe this might...
It depends.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see if that happens. But for me, the most important thing about this, and I agree with you, they should pay tax. I mean, everyone should pay tax. It's your income, you should pay tax on it. The thing that concerns me is that the lack of consultation means that the government has decided on how much tax they should pay without actually knowing how much they are earning.
Yeah, maybe. Or using a certain
estimations that have nothing to do with the people who are earning the money themselves.
Or government think everybody within that group will oppose it, but you don't get it that way. Some people
it's
will
not
really
even
be
about opposing.
Yeah.
First of all, it's a tax they should pay.
Yeah.
And as government, it is your job to convince your citizens that these taxes that we are paying are necessary, so that we all comply. It's an important part of your work. That's why the GRA spends money to advertise, to remind people to pay their taxes, because it is an obligation of government to remind people and make people comply with tax laws. So you can't be sitting in your office and say you are afraid that people will oppose your tax. That's why you didn't consult them. Because by not consulting them, you limit yourself, you limit the information that you yourself need to pass the law. How do you know how much they are making if you didn't talk to them?
No,
how do you know that the amount that you are going to tax them is even sufficient? How do you know?
Maybe you're checking from accounts of the general right-hailing service. No, yeah, but these are not even the bigger problems, right? It's whether or not going forward, how do we run a transportation that is affordable, yet the players in the industry contribute their quota to the development of this country. Those questions will require all parties on the table discussing it properly, because our transportation systems have been messed up. We know that. It's not so coherent. So different sections doing very different things and sometimes struggling to get the same. Yet if you are a consumer like myself, it's a messy place. You struggle to get the cars. You don't know whether the same laws apply. You don't know whether or not the people are interested in just getting people on board. And the standard of cars we even have to have on our roads, in this case, some of them, for Christ's sake, have no business being on the road in the first place. But we are still in that space. We have tried to do public transportation with the buses for God knows how long. From way back then through to the OSES, to the new plans, to all the other things we have done within our space. And more recently, the Ayalolo industry also came on board. We have not found a very wonderful way of merging modern cities and transportation. Others are getting very, very ingenious ways to do it nicely, to make sense, and even go the electric way. But we are still very confused as to how to even get people move from one place to the other without that being a burden on the community in general. And now we are adding another layer of who pays what at what point in time to it, which may further confuse and at the end of the day burden the final consumer. That's myself.
The issue of us not being able to properly integrate, urban planning with transportation, it's a big problem. And you see, part of it is because we don't plan our cities.
That's why I was happy when we were going to do the sky trains.
Yeah,
I was very happy.
They didn't even know where to put it before they go and find money to come and put it there. So the planning issue is a big one, or the failure to plan is a big issue. But the other one too is that, look, the people who we are relying on to actually sanitize the space are the ones who benefit from the chaos in the space. I mean, who owns these taxis? Who owns these trotros?
Oh, well.
Who owns them? What's the reason why we are unable to move to a uniform system of public transportation that is properly regulated, that is operating to standards, so you don't sit in some trotro and there is some metal hook that is going to stab you by the time you get to your destination?
Or it starts raining and you are fighting with the guy in front of you on who should control the...
Exactly. So why is it that we are unable to sanitize the space? It's because those who benefit from the chaos are the ones we are depending on to sanitize the space. Emaso. By the way, another
and we have dropped in that mix the tricycles.
Oh God!
See, so instead of fixing the problem, we then compound it with other problems. We have dropped in that mix the tricycles, basically doing small sections and all of that, which might not be a bad idea, but their regulation.
You see, another reason why consultation would have been good with these ride-hailing drivers is that is how, as a revenue authority, you will discover the ways in which they evade or avoid tax. Have you ever sat in one of these ride hailing services, sat in the car, and then the guy tells you that I've switched off the
even this morning he gave me some excuse. I told him, boss, I mean, this is nonsense, but you he said, oh, my battery is at 1%.
Imagine
so
that.
It's going off, so we should be able to move on with our lives on it. And that I should look through the system and find the amount of money I'm supposed to pay him and keep it in mind.
What is that?
Yeah, but
you see,
elsewhere in Kumasi, they negotiate with you how much you should pay on the.
So they are completely avoiding, compliance. So how will you tax them properly when you don't know the ways in which they are going to dodge you? Okay, all right. The news review normally is brought to you by Syntex Tank, Air Strong, Air Tough, and My Way, a simple life insurance by My Life and MTN Momo. Dial *165# on MTN to join My Way today, as well as Royal Cozy Hills Hotel, Japa, Dubai, your ultimate destination
for luxury and adventure. They had Safari Fest concert last night. Apparently, it was a big hit. Samini and others were on stage, and congratulations to them for that. The online review brought to us by Zenith Bank, in your best interest, and Goyle Good Energy.
Now, what do you do when you run out of fuel in your vehicle? Do you just top up anywhere? Don't do that. Let's introduce you to the Good Energy family and why you must be part of it. Goyle Super XP 195 and Diesel XP are the very best quality fuels with high performance in town for your vehicle. Goyle Super XP 195 is a high grade fuel sold at the same price as normal fuel. Goyle Diesel XP is low in sulfur, making it an eco-friendly option for your vehicle. With over 440 stations across the nation, join the family that rewards you with quality for an energized driving experience. Goyle Good Energy. Goyle Jana Yadim.
All right, let's go on now to the BBC News brought to us by Fidelity Bank, believe with us, and Old Mutual, 10 years of greatness in Ghana, here for a lifetime.
Want to feel energized for more? Fuel up with Super XP 195 and Diesel XP high performance products from Goyle. Our high grade fuel comes at no extra cost, but with more power. And our Diesel XP, it's low in sulfur, making it an eco-friendly option for your vehicle. Experience high performance and quality with our products. Available everywhere. Choose Super XP 195 and Diesel XP for an energizing driving experience. Goyle. Good energy.
My way insurance, send my way.
Hi, my name is Nanama McBrown, and I want to encourage you to dial *165# on MTN to join the My Way family. My Way provides you and a selected family member a cover against death. As a policy holder, you will also have a cover against total permanent disability and hospitalization should you be hospitalized for more than 2 nights. Dial *165# and join the family. Sanya My Way. No way.
My Way is a product of My Life and MTN Momo. Terms and conditions apply.
For decades, we have helped businesses connect with their trade partners all over the globe. From Ghana to Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo, Senegal, China, Morocco, France, Netherlands, and many other countries. We have made it possible to bring Ghana to the world. We have brought small and medium businesses closer to their customers across the regions in Ghana with our SME support facilities. We have brought relief and smiles to the faces of families with our employee personal loans. With our cutting-edge technology and digital support, we take the burden of complex thinking off you, making life simple. That is who we are, as close as a partner. Bank of Africa. We are indeed the African bank with the global reach.
The search for a distinctive university to attend is now over. I introduce you to Heritage Christian College, located at Amasaman behind the Olympic Stadium, affiliated to KNUST and UCC and accredited by the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission.
The university offers Bachelor of Business Administration programs with options in accounting with computing, marketing, accounting, human resource management, business information technology management, entrepreneurship and technology innovation, Bachelor of Science courses in information technology and information security, nursing, and a Bachelor of Theology. We offer student entrepreneurship training with financial support.
The entry qualifications include WASI, SSCE, GBCE, HND, and diploma in relevant fields. Mature entrants can also come if they are 25 years and above.
We also offer 12-month Master of Science programs in accounting and taxation, accounting and finance, and human resource management.
Contact us on 0547 777 731.
Heritage Christian College, a university educating compassionate entrepreneurial leaders.
Is a trouble to a man. Red eye, stand your high. Shine eye, girl, is a trouble to a man. Shine eye, red eye, red eye. I wanna win a black eye, blue eye, pink eye, purple eye. show is always the best. On Joy 99.7 FM. Shine eye, red eye, red eye. Shine eye, girl. To a man. Me no matter about the red eye. I rise early, looking something. Rise early. Early to bed. I'm looking for the doctor, but she no on ya. What should I do? Where should I start? I take a walk down the street. Did you see how me down the street? Where did you see her? The gal dey for corner with push mouth blonde. And I bet her spend.
The better the best, the girls are big hard to find. The better the best, some good the girl is hard to find. You can't judge a woman because I ain't them to shine. Me no matter how the eyes will shine, the brain and the mind. And at the same time, the woman a dash sweet wine. I seek, I search, and know that I'm man fine. Yes, I'm man fine, I'm going to care and mine. Some will care and mine, but not to polish.
Hello, you're with Newsday on the BBC World Service with Davina Gupta and Rob Young.
Coming up, more than 30 people have died after Monday's powerful earthquake in Japan. Thousands of people living in coastal areas have spent the night in evacuation centres there after being ordered to head to a higher ground. We'll get the latest from there as tsunami alerts have been downgraded.
We'll also head to Israel, where the Supreme Court has struck down a controversial judicial reform that had triggered nationwide protests against the government last year.
And as tensions rises in the Red Sea, we'll have a look at how this is affecting oil prices globally.
And news of a sea monster known as the Sea Rex, the skull of the giant, goes on display today. We'll be hearing all about it after a bulletin of the latest world news.
Hello, I'm Neil Nunes with the BBC News. The scale of the destruction caused by an earthquake in central Japan is becoming clearer, with more than 30 people now known to have died. Hundreds of buildings were destroyed by Monday's quake, all the subsequent fires. This report from Jean Mackenzie.
We've been driving through the peninsula where the earthquake hit, towards the epicentre. And there are isolated pieces of damage, single homes reduced to rubble, often very old wooden houses. Some people have been buried alive, trapped by their collapsed homes. Others are missing, thought to be trapped. But ruptured roads are making it difficult for search and rescue teams to reach the worst affected areas. This has been a terrifying night for thousands of people who are still out of their homes, sheltering away from the coast.
South Korea's opposition leader Lee Jae-myung is being treated in hospital after an attacker stabbed him in the neck during a visit to the city of Busan. A spokesman for his Democratic Party said he had suffered damage to his jugular vein, but the injury is not thought to be life-threatening. The Spanish footballer Jenny Hermoso is due to testify in a court in Madrid today as part of an investigation into Luis Rubiales, the former president of Spain's Football Federation. Mr. Rubiales could face trial for sexual assault for kissing Ms. Hermoso on the lips after the Spanish women's team won the World Cup. Guy Hedgecoe is outside the court.
This is a case which has had huge repercussions, firstly within the sport, because it caused a huge shake-up at the top of the federation, not least of all the resignation of Mr. Rubiales, but also because of pressure from senior female players. There are other changes at the top of the federation, but also it's had repercussions in broader Spanish society. So I think people will be following this hearing very closely. We're expecting Jenny Hermoso to reiterate her claim that that kiss was not consensual.
The Israeli government has sharply criticized a ruling by the Supreme Court which struck down judicial reforms that prompted months of mass protests last year. The Justice Minister accused judges of taking all power into their own hands. The Likud party of Prime Minister Netanyahu said it was the wrong time for such a decision when Israel was at war and needed unity. Yolande Nell has more details.
Israeli ministers have been reacting angrily to the Supreme Court's decision to nullify a controversial law which had weakened its own powers. Ministers accused the court of overstepping its authority. However, there was praise from opposition politicians who say the national crisis caused by the contentious judicial changes over the past year may have contributed to Hamas's decision to carry out its deadly attacks on the 7th of October.
World News from the BBC. The Ukrainian Air Force says its air defense systems have downed 35 drones launched in Russia's latest attacks. The military has now raised air alerts nationwide, warning of missile strikes from Russian bombers. The mayor of the capital, Kyiv, says debris from missiles has fallen on different parts of the city. The emergency services in the capital are still collecting bodies from a Russian aerial attack on Friday. The government of Panama has said that 500,000 people risked their lives crossing the Darien Gap last year as they attempted to reach the U.S.-Mexico border. The number more than doubled from the previous year. The jungle area is the only link between South and Central America. Migrants pay thousands of dollars to criminal gangs to guide them through tropical rivers and steep mountains. The British government says it's fulfilled a promise by the Prime Minister Rishi Sunak to clear a big backlog of outstanding asylum claims. Tens of thousands of migrants have been stuck in the system. Here's Mark Easton.
Today, the government press release proclaims legacy backlog cleared. But is it? First, the word legacy refers only to people stuck in the asylum system on June the 28th, 2022, the day when new asylum rules came into force. All of those cases have been reviewed, but not all have been resolved. 4,500 have been reclassified as complex cases. Now, the Home Office says that shows ministers won't compromise on border security. Critics, including some Tory backbenchers, say Number 10 is cooking the books.
The cryptocurrency Bitcoin has risen above $45,000 for the first time in nearly 2 years. The biggest and best-known digital currency is still a long way off its peak of late 2021 when it reached $69,000. BBC News.
The average human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally.
Hi, my name is Stephen Appiah, the team coordinator of the Black Stars. I always like to keep hydrated naturally, every day, any day. S Natural Mineral Water does the trick.
Manufactured with the primary aim of preserving nature's finest minerals necessary for a healthy mind and body. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural. For bulk purchase, call 0596-273-546 or 0596-273-547. This advertisement is vetted and approved by the FDA.
Y'all ready? You better look for your shadow. The 90s jam is back. The golden era of urban music. The 90s, the nostalgia, the music.
Real music.
The Shada, Cross Collars, Kalkani, Full Injection, Fubu, LA Gear, Tommy Hilfiger, Paco, Pele Pele, DKNY, and many, many more. The dancers crisscross, shoop, cracking, breakdance, cabbage, and more. The Joy FM 90 Jam, 5th January 2024, rooftop of City Galleria Mall behind Accra Mall. The first and only certified jam of the new year. Fully powered by Joy 99.7 FM, your super hits radio.
All the dogs in the house, so pump your fists in the air and sing. R. Kelly's on the track and it's a good thing.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it. Me be treated like a punk, you know that's unheard of. You better watch how you're talking and where you're walking, or you and your homies might be lying in chalk. I really hate the trip, but I gotta low. As they croak, I see myself in the pistol smoke. Fool, I'm the kind of G the little homies wanna be like. On my knees in the night, saying prayers in the street light. Been spending most of the night living in the gangster's paradise. Been spending most of the night living in the gangster's paradise. We keep spending most of the night living in the gangster's paradise. We keep spending most of the night living in the gangster's paradise. Look at the situation they got me facing. I can't live a normal life. I was raised by the state, so I gotta be down with the hood team. Too much television watching got me chasing dreams. I'm an educated fool with money on my mind. Got my tin in my hand and a gleam in my eye. I'm a loped out gangster, set tripping banker, and my homies is down, so don't arouse my anger. Fool, death ain't nothing but a heartbeat away. I'm living life, do or die. What can I say? I'm 23 now, but will I live to see 24? The way things is going, I don't know. Tell me, why are we so blind to see that the ones we hurt are you and me? We've been spending most of the night living in the gangster's paradise. We've been spending most of the night living in the gangster's paradise. I know a girl, we're all over the looking for you, walk up on the right one. All over the looking for you, walk up on the right one. We're all over the looking for you, walk up on the right one. All over the hunting for you, walk up on the right one. A woman take a trip to coming from England to satisfy her soul and also she wants a man. It's come around, she must go fast. I will make you explode, so think about every hour, every minute, and every second. They call me Miss Lover, man, they call me Miss Lover.
I'm not gonna take it easy. You won't get away tonight. The vibe that's flowing through me makes me feel alright. Can't say you're full of action. Now it's a chance to show me emotion. I've waited so long. You better come on strong. Mr. Loverman, through the wind, Mr. Loverman, Mr. Loverman, I can't wait.
Waiting for what? You got to do you might become so feminine. I go lay down and make you feel me with it. Because really that is my favorite habit. And when me lay down, you know me not run from it. They call me Miss Lover, man, they call me Miss Lover. Miss Lover, man, they call me Miss Lover. They call me Miss Lover, man, they call me Miss Lover. A woman think that she's coming from England to satisfy her soul and also she wants a man. It's a man if you buck up fun. I'm going to make you explode. Just like a man, every hour, every minute, and every second. They call me Miss Lover, man, they call me Miss Lover.
Champion lover, I know he's up tonight. Champion lover, do you like it rough? Do you like it smooth? I'm gonna love you, baby. If you want it to.
I wanna say, I'm so young when you get in the mood. They come and love me when we start getting rude. But if you want it, nothing from a man like me. You want me to take me with the rope on this mood. Y'all me when you waiting on the moon. They come and love me when we start getting rude. But if you want good love from a man like me, you want me to take me with the rope on this mood. You say, I'm living in this country. I'm watching all the people that when they burn on me. If you don't want to survive and you want to stay alive, sometimes you want to be rough and ready. You say, no matter say they look crazy. I don't play by the thing when you want to run you not see. Can we come to the love 100%? I know when you are dead from this, so you say, do you like it rough? Do you like it rough? Do you like it smooth? Do you like it smooth? It was the way you want it, baby.
Me all a walk like a champion, talk like a champion. What a piece of money, girl, tell me where you get it from. Tap on your entrance, ram pa pa pam pam. Can't let me in, me have the thing where you are. right man. Walk like a champion, talk like a champion. What a piece of body, girl. How will you get it from? Knock on your entrance. Ram, pam, pam, pam. Girl, let me in. Why? Always the best. Then get to take your hand and lead it to the promised land. Me 20-foot dive on. All you got to do is be true, so let's go respond. Satisfy your emotion. Hotter for the press, instantly she bust. She no old and tough, and she no got time no rust. Things smooth and precious like she never get a cut. Once on to expand up, got to all and pull up. Giddy up, me have to get you is a mouse. Think I walk like a champion, talk like a champion. What a piece of body, can tell me where you get it from. Not find your entrance, ram pa pa pam pam. Can't let me in me everything. But up on the car, you no look for them way. You look good enough against no matter what I can say. Put on your clothes, it's like a display. Man, I swear on a stay about night and day. Would you be my honey and the woman lay? We gotta just smile on her face and say she want a man for do the work, not one for play. I'm a rattan man, she say she want one for stay. And would you wanna walk like a champion, talk like a champion? What a piece of body, girl, tell me where you get it from.
Enjoy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best. Enjoy.
Who got the keys to my
99.7 FM.
Who am I? The girls them sugar. How can I make love to a fella
Coffee
in
in
a
your
rock?
cup.
Pass me
Enjoy
the
on the
keys to my
set.
truck.
The Super
Who am
Morning Show is
I? The girls
always the
them love.
best.
And I will make love to precious. Do it for buck again with deep like a bucket. Draw for your niggle like your niggle can't stitch it. Draw for your oxen like a cow, you wanna chop it. Draw for your pickaxe like a gun, you wanna dig it. It's like a riverside up on the bank and you take it. It's like a bicycle, so you hold it and dash it. So you watch it, so you crash it. She a tell you, say you grab it. Girl, she a beg you wanna ball, take it, stop it. Batman plug in and me a move like a electric. It's like a basketball, she take time out to bomb it. Listen to me silent, listen to me lyrics. I be the man, they and me a drop it. I say about me, and the big fat sister now yo me. You two of them claims that them know me. All them argument throw me. The boy their name grow me, and the more sister now yo me. You two of them claims that them know me. All them argument throw me. But me wonder who me, how him fi know me. I want to host me man and crack down me go live there and see it a grow me. Who the boy owe me, him argument throw me.
Oh, I'm remembering some things.
You are trying. You've not reached my level yet, but you are trying.
Hey, you bribe someone to give you the lyrics. Oh, this 90s jam thing will be. My goodness. And it's on Friday at the City Galleria, which is the building right behind Accra Mall, which you have properly vetted. Yes, yeah, quite happy with it.
It's called Recce. You know,
you've done a Recce.
Yes, a professional practice to also make sure that you check up the place and make sure that everything is in order. So I can fully endorse the venue.
If you say so, we are with you.
Yes.
By the way, listen, while we're getting excited about the 90s jam, today on the Super Morning Show, we're looking into the crystal ball. We want to figure out, for the purposes of our own planning and decision making for 2024, how are things going to go with the economy? How are things going to go in our power sector? These are important questions we must answer in order for our businesses to flourish, in order for us to plan our own personal budgets, in order for us to survive this year. Okay? So, look, the best predictor of the future is the past. How did things go in this sector in 2023?
The report revealed the following astonishing facts. 1. The Bank of Ghana recorded a staggering loss of 60.8 billion Ghana cedis, which is equivalent of $6 billion US. This is twice the amount we are to receive from the recent IMF bailout.
Lied about it. Beat us. Lied about it. Said they didn't beat anybody. What is wrong with protest? This country's independence was founded on protest. It was founded on protest.
I told the chairman our main focus should be that can we pay for the gas we've procured? Simple. With this price, if you procure the gas from the IOCs, which is the international oil company, can we pay them?
I would rather ECG is not operated the way it is operated now. There must be an element of privatization in ECG.
Mr. Speaker, to zero-rate VAT on locally produced sanitary pads. Mr. Speaker, to grant import duty waivers for raw materials for the local manufacture of sanitary pads.
Indeed, 2 weeks ago, the Minister for Finance had to intervene to stop Seno Asogwe shutting down because of ECG's indebtedness to IPPs. For an entity that cannot pay its debtors, they have no business donating motorbikes to Ghana Police.
I can assure you that it will be resolved. I do not think that we're going to go back into the situation that we plunge into permanent darkness, because this is the policy direction of the government. It will be inimical to the economy and the arrangements we find ourselves in to plunge the nation back to doing so.
Yeah, so what's it going to be like? I mean, we've already heard prophets talking about a total doom in 2024. Not doom so anymore, but doom cry in 2024. But look, I mean, the writing is on the wall that our energy sector really needs some attention.
That's true.
You know, that's true because look, the debt has been quite imposing on them for some time. ECG has been struggling, bending over backwards, doing everything in their power to up their collections, be more efficient and effective, just so that they can close the gap of some of these debts. But it's not only them. They are not the only players in the sector. And there is a need for everybody to be sitting up. Will 2024 be the camel that breaks the energy sector's back?
I mean, see, if we're able to pay our debt in that sector, we will be on the right footing. The difficulty is that we have to defer because sometimes we are overwhelmed by the debt in the sector.
Yep.
It's because we have tried so many procedures and processes to try and make sure that sector is actually on the right footing. If you've seen the energy sector policy that was released last year for the sector for some time, our vision as a people is to make sure that system is not only we are not self-sufficient. We also supply to the sub-region and other places and expand it even beyond that. It's also to make sure we diversify. We bring in more renewables and all the other options, including nuclear, on the table. But all of these require a certain capital infusion. That is the part of the conversation that we mostly leave to Christ. So we have bold ambitions in the sector. We don't just end up doing the right things, which gets us into trouble. Let's not forget that when we're discussing where we have come to, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana told us one of the reasons we are where we are is energy sector debt.
Yep.
Yes. He said so.
Quadruple whammy.
Yes.
It was one
he
of
mentioned
the four.
Energy sector debt.
Yeah.
But we didn't start energy sector problems today.
No.
There was a point in time we put together an energy sector levy act. Which meant that we knew we were going to incur some debt there, or we had already had a backlog of some debt there, and we needed some help, which was the act. So a law was put in place to collect money from different sources to make sure that we clear the energy problems. In fact, when this government first came in, they extended that one. It had a sunset clause, which means if a period it should have ended.
Yep.
But we continue the huge section of the Energy Sector Levies Act. Why is it that in 2023, 2024, we still continue to talk about a lot of debt in this sector? When we are still collecting plenty money, when we even do that thing that we do when we want to go and take money from people, we collateralize and go and use it for money.
Yes.
We use part of our Energy Sector Levy Act to do that kind of job. Why are we still having difficulties with raising money? Why are IPPs crying in their bedrooms and outside more recently? Because they've been crying for long. They've been complaining when they see you in quarters and whichever corner they find themselves. They cannot sustain the system we are getting into. We know that it's been difficult, for example, fueling our energy sector. We pretend we don't know that. We know that it's been very, very difficult running that space, buying gas, buying all the other things that we need to do. Sometimes we pretend that we have a mini doomsaw or some form of unplanned one, when indeed it is a factor that we need to be considering going into the future. So, and I know politicians work in very mysterious ways. Mostly during the elections, they don't put out the light. No matter what happens, you get power for elections.
We'll see. We'll see how they pull that off.
Yes,
because I think we're also in an IMF program.
Yes,
there is a certain limit to exactly how much flexibility you have with money. So I mean, you are going to really have to squeeze something.
This is Republic unconscionable. Do you know why we do our things? We don't care about throwing away IMF program just because of an election. After the election, we'll go and discuss with the IMF again.
It's true.
Because Akuma says, seek ye first the political kingdom. And every other thing shall be added unto you. So we need to get complete control of that space. We are not even discussing how we're going to fund the future industrial quest that we have as a people. We're not there yet.
No.
We are discussing whether our lights are going to be on for this period. And we're going to get power that is affordable, power that promotes development. And let's not get it wrong, without energy you cannot fund your investment into what they call it an industrial future. Everybody knows that.
So this conversation is crucial. It's absolutely important. Stay tuned. Don't miss a moment of it. But listen, the kids are at home, which means that we can take our time with Say It Right and bring it to them at a time when everybody is paying attention, sitting around the breakfast table. So here it is, today's edition of Say It Right. There's a brand new word for you. I hope you enjoy it.
Something must be done.
You say either, I say either.
Now, I hope you had a restful holiday. I spent mine with Fifi, who was a little bit under the weather. Nothing serious, just a cold, but the poor lad was sniffling and sneezing all day long. Kids really are miserable when they have colds, aren't they? Sniffling pitifully and walking around with mel drops. Mel drops. Now that's an unusual word. MELDROPS. Mel drops. Now, it describes those single drops of mucus that hang from the nostril and never seem to fall off, no matter how much they move about. Yes, ew, disgusting, I know. But at least we've added the first new word to our vocabulary for 2024, right? Now, let's see if we can find an opportunity to use it in a sentence today. Don't give up until you do. Be as tenacious as a mel drop. See what I did there?
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet. On Joy 7 FM.
Sunshine and joy in the morning time. Yeah. Wake up to the Super Morning Show. Yeah. Wake up to joy in the morning. Yeah. If you're turning on your radio, go for some joy in the morning. On the Super Morning Show.
Welcome to the Joy Super Morning Show.
Now, a poorly maintained car engine can age faster. That we know. That's why we offer specially formulated quartz engine oil with age resistance technology. It's a breakthrough innovation that ensures optimal performance for your engine and improves protection against mechanical wear by up to 74%, even at the extreme temperatures and pressure. I know whenever I'm doing this LPM, I remember Mama V wonderfully. Yeah. Choosing
because
quartz
of the extreme pressure.
Yes. Choosing quartz from Total Energies is choosing the engine oil that keeps your engine running efficiently and effectively. Quartz, keep your engine younger for longer.
Alrighty then, listen, let's say good morning to all of our good friends at Fidelity Bank, from Eric Frimpong and Ponsa to Ransford Nanado, to Yvonne Boche and Esteban Amegashitsi. Because Fidelity Bank is excited to announce the call for applications to the Fidelity Young Entrepreneurs Fund once more. So if you're an entrepreneur between the ages of 18 and 40, okay, or 45 if you're a woman, and you've been operating a profitable business for up to 1 or 2 years in any of the sectors like agriculture, small scale and light manufacturing, technology related businesses, creative arts, that's fashion, millinery and bead making, as well as green business, waste recycling and renewable energy, seize the opportunity to access up to 200,000 Ghana cedis at an interest rate of 10%. with no tangible collateral. Apply now at fyei.fidelitybank.com.gh. For further details, just go to your phone and call 0531 012 935. You can also try 0594 111 207 or email sustainablefinance@myfidelitybank.net. Applications are open until December 31. Actually, the applications might have just closed. Go to the website to find out. Sustainablefinance@myfidelitybank.net. Terms and conditions apply. Fidelity Bank, believe with us.
So if your plan, as part of your agenda for this year, is also to make sure that you go to school or get proper education, let me recommend to you Heritage Christian University College. This is set up to provide a missing link, that important missing link, in tertiary education through conviction. 2, character development. 3, creativity. 4, compassion. And 5, community. They are accredited by GTech and affiliated with KNUST and UCC, and is located at the Amasaman behind the Olympic Stadium. What makes them unique, and this is what you don't find anywhere else, they give you entrepreneurship training with financial support. So it's not just a training that you go and look for your own money. They give you, in fact, they have given 375,000 cedis as startups, grant for startups since 2018. They are also technology driven. You don't have to be buying books. All you need is a laptop. This is digitalization world to 2024. You should only be buying a laptop. Then you get all your books. No, every time you be buying book and be destroying the environment in the process. Flexible payment plan, 25% discount for all freshers, not some privileged ones. Affordable hostels are also available there. Some of the programs you should be interested in are Bachelor of Theology. Then there's also the BSc Information Technology. Then there's BSc Information Security. Then there's BSc Nursing. There's BBA programs with options in accounting, with computing, entrepreneurship and technology innovation, and many, many more. They also graduate programs, which is just 12 months. MSc Accounting and Finance, MSc Accounting and Taxation, and MSc Human Resource Management. The contacts you should be calling right now are these two numbers: 0547 777731 or 02022983399. You can also dial star 789 star 300 hash to purchase an online serial number and apply via the website hcuc.edu.gh. HCC, educating compassionate entrepreneurial leaders.
All right, listen, don't forget to go to kingdomstoreonline.com and pick up all of your favorite office essentials, equipment, and furniture from Kingdom Books and Stationery. You can pay via Momo for whatever you buy, and it doesn't matter what network you're on, they will accept your payment and deliver to your home or office in very good time. You get free delivery if you're in Accra or Tema. Terms and conditions do apply. At Kingdom, quality and affordability are their hallmarks.
Now, are you ready? And I'm sure you had a colorful Christmas, right? You enjoyed it very much. We are still within the new year. Some are insisting that, for this week, I should be added to the holidays one.
It's
because productivity now, 20% that. So clearly, let's just kumiprako during the period, then we can come back fully revitalized. Because I know people, when I was coming to work, there's not very little traffic in town. A very great indication. People are still uninterested in returning to come and work for the people. Now, are you ready for a colorful period?
Yes.
It's time to do more with less, with coral paints. Choose from up to 35 vivid colors of their premium quality. Deluxe acrylics, PVA, and Coralatex at unbeatable prices. Purchase a bucket of acrylic PVA for only 749 cedis. And Coralatex for 927 cedis. Liven up your festive spirit and do not miss out this festive period. This promotion is valid at all Coral Paint stores and authorized distributors the entire nation. So, Kojo, you have to paint. Sometimes if you don't have money, you have to paint your building. So that people will know that the money will come.
Paint prophetically.
I have a boss who told me that, the paint will attract good fortunes. Yes, it's a sign of good beginning.
Get yourself some Coralatex and solve your problem.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, listen, it's time for us to move on with the nutrition line from Nestle. And of course, they offer good food for a good life.
Mavis, this your son? Yeah, football star. When does he train? What time does he even wake up?
Breakfast time. No, he wakes up earlier, but when I give him Milo with breakfast, that's when I see that the champion in him is awake.
Don't just wake up your child, wake up the champion in him. Let Milo with Active Go and the natural goodness of malt, milk, and cocoa help wake up the champion in your child every day. Milo, energy to go further. Milo! This advert is FDA approved.
This is Nestle Nutrition Line. Nestle Nutrition Line is a public service program from Nestle Ghana Limited. Nestle Nutrition Line offers tips on good food for a good life. Now to your presenter.
Hello, good morning. Enjoying the brand new year and all the blessings it brings. I'd like to welcome you to Nestle Nutrition Line. I'm Jackie Ankra, also known as Na Ajilisoa. Please stay tuned as we discuss another healthy eating resolution, which is to eat more green vegetables every single day. Green vegetables such as kontomire, ayoyo, lettuce, okra, and spinach are a powerhouse of nutrients that we need to achieve good health or to stay healthy. What distinguishes green vegetables from others is their low calorie content. This means you can eat a lot, reduce your carbohydrate intake, get so many nutrients, feel satisfied, and yet not overconsume calories. This makes them an important ally in the battle to manage weight. Green vegetables are also high in dietary fiber, which can help ensure smooth digestion and can help lower cholesterol levels. Green vegetables are rich in vitamins C, B, A, and K, among others. They are also a great source of various antioxidants which help keep the immune system functioning properly. It is important to note that most of the vitamins in green vegetables are easily destroyed by heat, so don't overcook them excessively. Where possible, you can have them raw, as in salads. Throughout the year 2023, resolve to eat some green vegetables every single day. Oh, time flies when you're having fun, does it not? But there's always tomorrow. I'd like to thank you for tuning in this and every weekday morning and to make a date because we will be back with more. In the meantime, a phone call or an email would be nice. Share your ideas, views, opinions, comments, suggestions, and let's work together to build a healthier, happier, longer life. It's a partnership and we're counting on you. 0302 517 020 or 0302 211 880. Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Toll free 0800 12 0001. This is Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to midnight. On weekends and holidays, it's 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you would like to WhatsApp, SMS, or call between the hours of 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., do please try the following: 0593 845697, 0593 845649, 0593 845708. You can also send an email to consumerservices@gh.nestle.com. Now do something incredibly, remarkably unique with your life. The world is your stage. Go out and shine and have a great day. Bye.
Mavis, this your son? Yeah, football star. When does he train? What time does he even wake up?
Breakfast time. No, he wakes up earlier, but when I give him Milo with breakfast, that's when I see that the champion in him is awake.
Don't just wake up your child, wake up the champion in him. Let Milo with Active Go and the natural goodness of malt, milk, and cocoa help wake up the champion in your child every day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo!
This advert is FDA approved.
Wake up, have a great day, yeah, with nourishing cowbell premium milk and cowbell Vita Rich nourishment for you. There's a cowbell milk for you, for you, for you. Cowbell Vita Rich and cowbell premium.
Introducing the new Cowbell Premium Milk, high in protein, and the new Cowbell Vita Rich, enriched with vitamin B9, both so creamy. Now there's a cowbell for you.
Cowbell of creamy goodness.
This advert is FDA approved.
Have you ever thought of the one that makes you complete? An escape from the clutches of interest charges. With the Standard Chartered Visa debit and credit cards, payments are completed at the speed of light, intertwined with interest earning accounts. You also get unbelievable rewards every time you swipe. You have access to over 1,200 airport lounges worldwide. High credit limits of up to 100,000 Ghana cedis and up to 50 days interest-free with our credit cards. You also get to enjoy full multi-trip travel insurance for 90 days. Fees discounted at your feet with our globally partnered merchant points. Bills are always settled, not battled. Get the Standard Chartered debit and credit card now. Call toll-free on 0800 740 100 or 0302 740 100 or reach us via email on feedback.ghana@sc.com. Standard Chartered, here for good.
Hey, Ma, the way you're always getting alerts these days, I won't be surprised to hear that you have gotten a Momo for Business account by my next visitor.
Oh, I'm already on Momo for Business,
since when?
Since.
Now it's easy to apply for a merchant SIM. All you need is a registered MTN number, your business certificate, your Ghana card, and you are good to go.
Sir,
you think you are the only one who knows WhatsApp, eh? Look, I just dialed *5051#, selected register and the region I was requesting the SIM from, and waited for my SMS with my reference number. You can even go online at momomerchantapplication.mtn.com.gh and complete the details for an even better experience.
Hey, Grandma Momo.
Sign up for Momo for Business the easy and simple way. Just visit momomerchantapplication.mtn.com.gh or dial *5051# and follow the prompts and be on your way to owning a Momo business account today for free.
MTN.
Alrighty then, a special day for special people. Birthday messages on Super Morning Show are brought to you by MTN. Everywhere you go, Bank of Africa, the African bank with global reach. Bank of Africa, as strong as a group, as close as a partner. And Franco Trading Enterprise, still phone Papa
Yes.
Right. Whose birthday is it today?
So, blessed birthday to Dr. and Mrs. Patience Anite of Frimpoma Estate, Sprinters and Emmanuel Methodist Church, Airport East Circuit. You are a blessing to us and all the people you interact with. Receive extra grace and favor from the above. This is from your husband, Professor Anite, and children, Harold and also Elsie. There's also this one, blessed birthday to Nathan Corty of Barry and Grace Methodist Church, Latebi Okoshi. May you be elevated in the spiritual and physical realms as you mark another birthday. It's from your wife, children, and members of Grace Methodist Church.
I have two. The first one is from Eben Sabute, Sabutizi. He says, happy
is that
birthday.
why you are standing here?
Yes. He says, happy birthday to my friend Global Susan in Afienya. I pray for God's protection upon your life. And this one just came in. It says, good morning, Joy FM. This is a special birthday wish to my husband, Kwesi Ejiru Kosa. On this special day, I thank God that our paths have crossed. You're such a blessing and real fun. Indeed, you are my bestie and the best roommate ever. May you have an awesome day. Okay, and that's from your wife, Barbara. All right, listen, let's kick it into gear. The Joy Sports Center is brought to you by
MTN. Everywhere you go.
Standard Chartered Bank, here
for good.
1xBet. Join 1xBet African Legends on Facebook, 1xBet_Ghana. Discover remarkable African athlete stories and win exciting prizes using the hashtag 1xBet African Legend. DSTV, it's your moment. And cowbell,
our creamy goodness.
Okay, go.
I should tell you about DSTV, right? Around this time, we know you are looking forward to what MTN has in store for you. That's because it's the season of surprise on MTN, when you get amazing Christmas gifts for talking, texting, and browsing, like you always do. This MTN season of surprise brings with it fun activities and giveaways such as smartphones, special shopping vouchers, bonus data for mobile and fiber broadband customers, speed shopping on MTN Pulse, discounts when you buy smartphones, and many other gifts to spice up your festive season. For movie lovers, you also get lots of free movie mania tickets and special passes to the premiere of Aquaman, courtesy MTN Pause. Keep an eye on our social for all the juicy information, because it's the Christmas and the New Year that MTN keeps giving you. Only on MTN. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, listen, it's time you got yourself the Standard Chartered Visa credit card. It'll let you spend up to 100,000 Ghana cedis free of charge with an offer to pay back in 50 days without any interest. That's a jolly good idea. Also, the Standard Chartered debit card is your plug to hefty discounts this holiday season. You could get up to 20% off when you swipe at selected merchant points and partners. And of course, while you enjoy all of this, you could win a trip to tour selected cities across Europe. Don't let money stop you from doing the lovely things you want to do this festive season. It's time to settle bills and not battle them. Let's make merry this festive season with Standard Chartered's Visa, debit and credit cards. Could be the best Christmas yet. Call toll free on 0800 740 100 or 030 274 0100, or you can email feedback.ghana@sc.com. Standard Chartered Bank,
here for good.
All right, what's kicking? What's popping? And where are we going?
I see Fentu on Zoom. I see his that hairstyle he doesn't want to get rid of.
Fentwizzles.
Yes.
Raymond, you are just hating, man. How are you?
We're great, Salah. And Happy New Year to you.
Yes. Good morning, Raymond. Where's your hair? I can't find it. You spent it all on Christmas. Thank you. Anyway, good morning, all of you. Welcome aboard to the Joy Sports Centre with me, Fentu Tahiru Fentu. Coming up this morning.
Kwaba. I hereby announce my 27-man squad for AFCON 2023.
That's right. Black Stars head coach Chris Hughton reveals Ghana's final squad for the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations with very notable absentees. Also coming up.
Salah for Liverpool seals it in style. Goodbye for now, Mohamed Salah. It's been an absolute pleasure. We can't wait to have you back.
That's right. Egypt's Mohamed Salah signs up for the AFCON with a brace for Liverpool against Newcastle. It's a performance that's already putting shivers down Ghanaian spines. But first, the Black Stars head coach Chris Hughton, he announced his 27-man final squad yesterday at the Elisa Hotel for the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations set to begin in 11 days in Cote d'Ivoire. The squad was with very notable absentees. First up, Arsenal's Thomas Partey was not named in the team because of a muscle injury he's been battling since October. Leicester City's informed Abdul Fattah Ishahaku, who has 9 goal contributions this season, also opted out of the squad in order to fulfill a clause relating to the number of appearances he needs to make his loan move from Sporting Lisbon permanent. Then there's left back Abdul Babar Rahman, who also asked not to be included in the squad because of footballing reasons. The Parkman later said in a statement where he also added that it is in the best interest of his career and the Black Stars that he's asking not to be considered for selection, citing his injury history that he's had over the last few years. Elsewhere in the squad though, there's Asante Kotoko midfielder Richmond Lamte, who leads a 3-man list of Ghana Premier League players included in the team. The other two, obviously, are medium striker Jonathan Sowa and their left back Hamidou Fatau. We can now get reaction from Chris Hughton, the manager. First up, he says the decision to leave out deputy captain Thomas Partey was because the Arsenal midfielder would not recover in time for the AFCON.
He's one of our most important players, and withstanding his injury, he certainly would be in the squad. But this is a player that has a substantial injury, and I've spent a lot of time over this period of time with Thomas and also engaging with the medical staff at Arsenal Football Club. They will treat this injury with caution. So will the player. This is a big injury for him and the biggest injury that he's had. From all the information that we've been given, the timelines of his recovery and the caution that it will take will not meet our timelines for AFCON.
So that's Chris Hughton then. No Thomas Partey, even though he just made the injury return, featured for a few minutes against Fulham. But let's stay with Hughton because he also revealed that star forward Mohamed Kudus has picked up a slight injury at West Ham and would join the team's camp in Kumasi at a later date.
Mohamed Kudus, who I think we are expecting him to join the group hopefully in a few days. He has a very slight injury issue that just needs to be dealt with before he joins camp. But we're hopeful of having him very shortly.
Well, that's Hughton on Mohamed Kudus. However, Joy Sports understands that Ghana turned down a request from West Ham United for Kudus to feature in their game against Brighton later tonight. The Hammers boss's David Moyes, he says he's unsure if Kudus will play against the Seagulls.
Yeah, well, I can't give you an answer on that either because I'm waiting on. No, we've got 3 or 4 players who are due to go to the African nations. We've not had confirmation on any of them really on their join update, which is incredibly strange that that's not come about. You'd have thought it would have been ready by now, and we're still waiting on that.
But with Kudus, it's very important that he is available for you for the Tuesday match.
Well, he's a really important player, so he would be to any team, so we're hoping that there's a chance that he could be, yes.
So that's David Moyes there. So no Thomas Partey then, still battling injury. Kudus Mohammed, also slightly injured, will join up with Ghana's team at a later date. Asante Kotoko head coach Prosper Ogum, on the other hand, in his reaction to the call-up of Richmond Lamptey, he says the player has very unique abilities that would benefit the Black Stars.
I think his game understanding, his ability to identify situations on the field and then apply the right decisions on the field makes him unique, and that's what he's been doing to help Kumasi Asante Kotoko as a team. His reading of the game, his understanding of the game, and the application of the right decisions on the field makes him an entirely extraordinary player amongst us. I see him to be a genius.
That's Prosper Nate Ogu. Meanwhile, president of the Ghana Football Association, Keto Preku, he's called on Ghanaians to put the pre-tournament and pre-squad announcement debates behind them and support the team.
My plea to all of us is that once the squad is announced, the entire nation must get behind the squad. My plea, even if I have to kneel down and beg the entire country, I will do so, is that we have one senior national men, and this senior national team men is called the Black Stars. And once the men for the job are announced, they are our warriors. Let's get behind the squad. Let us leave behind us all the pre-announcement discussions, and as Ghanaians, let's push and put our weight behind the men who have been picked to go to Cote d'Ivoire to fight for glory for our dear country. This is the only way they will then be very focused on delivering that target of envy.
That's Kete Kroku, the GFA president. Finally, on the Black Stars, what about the fans though? What did they make of the Black Stars squad after the announcement? Here are some thoughts from some fans.
You look at Gideon Mensah, who I believe has been consistently inconsistent. I'll use that word for Gideon Mensah. There are some games he comes in, there are some games he's off. There are some games he does well, there are some games you don't see him so well. He comes from the bench, that's so well. The next game you start him and you don't see anything. So I can't count him to be part of the quality players we should expect.
Ultimately, I do think that Ghanaians should be less anxious going towards this AFCON than we were in 2021, because the main issue is that, we are going to rely on players who haven't played as much.
If he says he wants other players to have the opportunity, I think that's a commendable thing to do. That's a laudable treat. If he feels like he's run his race, it feels like he needs to focus on club level, that's fine. Let him do that.
Those are the thoughts of some Ghanaian football fans about the Black Star squad. Some other AFCON related news though, and Algeria have arrived in Togo to prepare ahead of the AFCON tournament. They will play a friendly game there against the Togolese before emplaning to Abidjan for the tournament. The Black Stars themselves, of course, will begin camp today. They will train later this afternoon, which will be behind closed doors. But they have a friendly match on Monday against Namibia, which will be open to the public. The Black Stars head coach Chris Hughton has emphasized, though, that nobody should film any part of that friendly match against Namibia on Monday. Nigeria are also battling for fitness for their midfielder Wilfred Ndidi. He did not play in Leicester City's game yesterday. According to the Leicester manager, he is battling a big injury. He's expected to join the Super Eagles squad for the tournament later today as well. Let's go to the Premier League then and talk about another AFCON-bound player.
Great ball for Jota, who's an arch finisher. Going to go round the goalkeeper. Dubravka caught him. He wasn't going directly towards goal, so Dubravka will probably stay on. Yellow. It's not to look. Goes on the crowd reaction. So for the second time this evening, Salah steps up, and this time he scores.
Yes, Mohamed Salah last night at Anfield. He signed up for the AFCON with a brace to help Liverpool beat Newcastle United 4-2 in a relentless and chaotic game. The Egyptian replicated Mohamed Kudus's now famous celebration by sitting on the advertising board. He did that twice, maybe reminding Ghanaians who really is king. The win, though, gives the Reds a 3-point lead over second-placed Aston Villa. They are 5 points clear of defending champions Manchester City, who have a game in hand, as well as Arsenal, of course. Mohamed Salah spoke after the game, and he says he was determined to leave for the AFCON on a high note.
Well, it's a great result for us. You know, the game was very intense, and the best thing that we managed to get the 3 points. Now we are top of the table, and yeah, we just need to carry on and try to win every game. And we missed a lot of chances anyway. I missed a pen, and we just like in the halftime I was like, okay, you're gonna leave the national team with that performance? Not really. So I had to like really focus and just step up and try to make it different, and I managed to do so. Yeah.
That's Mohamed Salah there. And before we sign out, some transfer news. Manchester United midfielder Donny van der Beek has joined Frankfurt. He's completed his loan move to Frankfurt. The 26-year-old will join the Bundesliga side for the rest of the season with an option to tender transfer into a permanent deal. And we mentioned Fatau Ishahaku, who will not be joining Ghana's squad for the AFCON. He featured for well over 80 minutes for Leicester City as they thrashed Huddersfield Town 4-1 to go 10 points clear at the top of the championship table. So already it looks like the Foxes are angling for Premier League promotion. Anyway, that's all time will allow us for this morning on the Joy Sports Centre. My name is Fentu, Tahir Fentu. There's more sports on our website, myjoyland.com/sports.
Yeah. Fentwizzles, it's always great to have you. Same time tomorrow?
Yes.
All right. And that was the sports team. Of course, so you can catch sports on every bulletin throughout the day, every major bulletin. Time now for the Joy Business Minute, brought to you by Consolidated Bank Ghana, CBG, we stand with you, and Anointed Electricals, the generator experts.
Hello, welcome to the Joy Business Minute, brought to you by Consolidated Bank Ghana. We stand with you, and Anointed Electricals, your generator experts. The Ghana cedi ended 2023 with a year-to-date depreciation of 15.57% against the US dollar in the retail market. However, it was neither in the best spot returns or worst spot returns bracket, according to Bloomberg. The new World Bank Country Director, Dr. Robert O'Brien, is expected to assume office today. The Economist is taking over from Pierre Laporte, who finally left town last week. A senior finance lecturer at the University of Cape Coast, Sarah Mkawo, says Ghana is likely to receive the second tranche International Monetary Fund bailout package latest by March this year. According to him, the delay in reaching an agreement with China will push the disbursement of funds further to March. And Chinese company BYD has moved a step closer to toppling Elon Musk's Tesla as the world's biggest selling manufacturer of electric vehicles. And that's the Joy Business Minute, brought to you by Consolidated Bank Ghana. We stand with you, and Anointed Electricals, your generator expert.
Picture this, a star-studded panel featuring Africa's most inspiring speakers, award-winning artists, surprise guests, and 30,000 minds coming together for a day of empowerment and inspiration. This is what awaits you at the convention on the 7th of January at the Independence Square. Whether you're a dreamer, a doer, or someone seeking inspiration, this event is for you. Mark your calendars, gather your friends, and join us in making history. Join us for a groundbreaking event where African leaders like Julius Malema, Patrice Lumumba, Dr. Arikana, and Peter Obi unite to amplify the voices of the people. Experience a powerful convergence of cultures with giveaways including 4,000 pairs of shoes, 8,000 pairs of trainers, and exclusive items from superstars, royals, queens, and kings. For tickets and more information, visit newafricafoundation.org or call 0532 389032.
Hey, Cashman.
Yeah.
Don't you know Nana has assembled all of us and you are here making calls?
My generator is spoiled too. So I'm calling a renowned Ghanaian company with an excellent track record in the sales and repairs of generator sets in Accra to come and repair for me.
Oh, is it Anointed Electricals?
Yeah.
Anointed Electricals deals in quality and genuine generators with high fuel efficiency. We also rent generators.
They sell quality generators from 10 kVA to 2500 kVA. They have spare parts of other generators and can repair every faulty generator set even if you didn't buy from them.
Look, now we don't have any electrical problem in Accra.
Oh, how?
Because Anointed Electricals is right here at East Legon, Lagos Avenue, opposite Tomric Hotel. And that's why Nana is calling us.
Okay.
Yes. If you want to buy a brand new generator or repair the old one, visit Anointed Electricals. Or if you are within Accra, call our hotline 0246 423 534 or call 0243 480 334. They have qualified and dedicated men on 24-hour after sales service.
Then let's go and listen to Nana. Let's go.
Gosh, after giving you the hint, won't you give me anything?
Anointed, the generator experts.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
True story. Welcome back. Now, listen, step into a world of hassle-free banking with CBG's digital channels. Experience a safe, smart, and convenient way of making your online purchases, account withdrawals, point-of-sale device payments, Momo transfers, interbank transfers, airtime purchases, utility bill payments, and so much more with the digital channels available at CBG. Open an account at any of their 114 branches across the country and sign on to their digital channels. Use the CBG mobile app, internet banking, *924#, USSD mobile banking service, GH Link cards, and any of their MasterCard Classic and MasterCard Gold cards. Why wait? Embrace the digital revolution and get digi with CBG today. If you want to know more, call 0302-216-000. Email talktous@cbg.com.gh or just go to any of their social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, and X. Used to be Twitter. Terms and conditions apply. CBG, we stand with you.
Electrical Engineering Services Limited is actually into the sales of ultra silent generators from 5 kVA to 2500 kVA. They say I should say that there is unofficial doom show, but if you know you are experiencing it in your home, I should not. If you know you are experiencing it in your home and you don't want to share your neighbor's ebufu, all that you need to do is get an ultra silent generator.
That's right.
So that you solve your power problems for yourself in the meantime. Of course, they also undertake maintenance and repair of all kinds of diesel generators. And they also have in stock spare parts for all kinds of various generators. And if you can buy it, you can rent it, especially for a short period. They do generator rentals too. In East Legon, you can locate Anointed Electrical Engineering Services Limited on the Lagos Avenue Road, opposite Tomric Hotel, in Tema, on the Tema General Hospital Road, Community 9, just after the overhead, and at Odoko, where they have their head office. If you see the number, it's number 77 Anointed House of the Odoko Malam Road. And there are branches across the country. You know that Anointed is the generator expert. So contact them on this number, 0243-480-334, and solve your power problems. And today we're discussing energy, so you should have that in mind, right? I'm sure by the time Ben Boachi will finish with the elucidation and the explanation and the energy avatar explains everything into details, we'll come to the conclusion that you need a generator.
The inexorable conclusion. Yes. All right, listen, 90s Jam is coming up. We're all excited about it. We absolutely want you to be a part of it. But we are also interested in your own memories from the 90s. I mean, where were you? All right, in the 90s, what was your hangout? Where did you guys used to go out and chill? What was the nightclub that you guys used to frequent? I'm very interested in those memories, and we want you to use the hashtag JoySMS when you share them with us on X, and we will certainly share your thoughts with the world. So listen, make sure that you are using that hashtag so we'll see your tweets. Tell us, where did you used to hang out in the 90s? Of course, Raymond, you at the time were, a toddler, were you not?
You are forcing this down my throat.
I'm asking.
If I state the other facts that you are disputing,
not a toddler?
If I state the other facts that are disputing, you'll be fighting me right now.
If you haven't fact checked,
don't
say anything here. The simple question is, what size of Pampers were you wearing in the 90s?
I was an old man. I was a man of competent
jurisdiction
thinking at the time. I was corpus mentis in the 90s.
By you, even from 2 years old, you were drafting legal documents for people. So I believe that. Anyway, big stories on the Super Morning Show today. Let's talk first of all about social media messages, which are brought to you on the Super Morning Show this morning by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and number 10 liver salt, a refreshing relief.
Yes, I used to go to Glenn's nightclub too. I mean, I should list the rest I used to go to.
You've been to Glenn's?
Yes.
At what age were you? Why did they let you eat?
Okay, so if you stop presuming that I would have been underage at the time, you come to the appreciation that clearly in my heyday, I was a very active man. I was a man of extensive experience and exploitation.
What you are saying there.
Yes.
Look, I can even tell you the biggest clubs in every city, every major city at the time. So in Kumasi, there was a place called Kiravi.
Yes, I know Kiravi.
Yes. Do you know where Felisa?
Once in a while,
Felisa nightclub was?
Felisa, I can't recall. I mean, I might have known that because it's a long time ago.
It's a long time ago. Anyone who knows where Felisa nightclub was, let us know. Ahimfie was in Takrady.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
The nightclub is called Ahimfie.
Jet Club was in Cape Coast.
Okay.
They also had one called Dance P.
Oh, you used to? Yes. I can recall now.
You can
Those
recall
are places that I used to see you come do the dance competitions there.
You used to see me.
yes.
You used to see me.
We'll pay him.
It's
come
a
and
lie.
do dance there.
It's a lie from the pits of hell.
Okay, so those of you that also saw Koji dancing in these nightclubs, in a competitive dance, the one that he was doing across the country, that led to him being chased one day by the learned professor.
This story will not be allowed to stand in its current state.
Please send us the message. Yes,
we must correct it. Anyway, listen. Today on the Super Morning Show on Big Stories, we are certainly very interested in what's happening in the power sector and the energy sector. But first, keep your tweets about the 90s coming through.
Yes, of course. Every day people face different emergencies, and there's the police emergency. You know about the fire emergency too. There's also the medical emergency. You can name the rest, but many Ghanaians don't know their emergency numbers. Well, here's one you want to remember. It's star 770 hash. Yes, star 770 hash is the new EcoBank money emergency number. Star 770 hash gives you instant access to loans, fund transfers, utility payments, airtime and data purchases, and so much more, even without data. So there's no need to panic when you find yourself in any money emergency. EcoBank will always come to your rescue. You need to dial star 770 hash now for solutions to your money emergencies. EcoBank is the Pan-African Bank, and I know you have spent all the money and you have an emergency, but you're refusing to admit it. Star 770, dial it quietly, nobody will know. Star 770 hash, because if we ask anybody for money, they'll not give you. You, Pastor Bopin will tell you that in detail later on. Anyway,
there is God. There is God. Yes, Prof will be here to tell us our fate. Yeah. All right. Listen, big stories are coming up. Brought to you by Vodafone, Further Together, and Latex Foam, your partner for life.
And certainly, if you are looking for the best value and voice offer when it comes to data too, look no further as Vodafone has unbeatable deals made just for you. To enjoy these amazing Vodafone offers, just dial star 530 hash and get onto any of the Vodafone Made For Me bundles for as little as 1 Ghana cedi. You know, there was a song like that, 1 Ghana for your pocket. Yeah, Vodafone Made For Me has got just what you need. This offer is specially made for you. Simply dial star 530 hash or visit my Vodafone app to subscribe now. Vodafone, Further Together.
All right, listen, there's so much coming up on the Super Morning Show. A few people are guessing where Felisa nightclub is.
Oh, I see.
And guessing right.
Yeah.
As for you, Uncle Google, I'll leave you to go and check for yourself and come back and
are
tell
they
us.
Also getting it right where they saw you? Dancing.
That one is not.
Hey, my brother.
All right, keep your tweets coming through. The Super Morning Show continues. Professor Bokpin and Ben Boachi join us to give predictions with which we can plan 2024. Stay with us.
Comfort, durability, finishing, quality. Choosing sofas and beds for your home, office, or hotel couldn't be easier with an exclusive range of sofas and beds in various designs and colors from Latex Foam. There is so much choice, whatever your budget. Latex Foam, your partner for life.
Of late, things no easy, crowd. For my business inside, pressure day from customers. If I make payments, give suppliers, Okada riders, delivery charges, e no easy. Things no dey move fast like before because everything make expensive. The family wey dey house, see what I dey talk. Family wey dey call dey ask for another money. E no easy. Vodafone Cash be the only thing wey dey make my eye dey get to. If I dey do transfers for Vodafone Cash, e dey save me money. If you dey do Vodafone Cash to Vodafone Cash transactions, still no transfer charges dey. Even if I dey send money to another network, I dey get value.
Make you dial *110# to send money. Sending money from Vodafone Cash to Vodafone Cash still be free. Vodafone.
Ding dong merrily on Roverman Productions in partnership with Joy FM and the National Theatre continues the Festival of Plays on 1st of January with Naked in Bed. We continue on 2nd January with Unhappy Wives, Confused Husbands. On 6th January, Just the Tip. 7th January, we bring back Naked in Bed and we crown it all off on 8th January with For Girls, The Spell. Venue, National Theatre. For tickets, dial *365*535# or WhatsApp 050-554-6010 or visit our regular outlets. Rate 200 cedis per play and 900 cedis for 6 plays. Time 4 and 8 p.m. each day. Sponsors Gino Tomato Mix, GCB Bank and Ebony Condoms. Roverman Productions. Be the difference.
Yeah, darling.
EcoBank Mobile, they make me say, oh yeah. EcoBank Mobile, they make me crazy. Download it and use it. It gon' make your life so easy, yeah. Oh yeah. Download it, you go enjoy it. In my rhyming check, in my rhyming check. Come make a download them for you. Cause you can pay bills, you can buy credit, you can pay school fees, even chest tights with the Apple. EcoBank Apple.
Life is easy with the EcoBank mobile app. You can pay your bills, transfer to and from mobile wallet, virtual card creation, transfer to other banks, express account opening, scan and pay, express cash, all at your fingertips with the EcoBank mobile app. You know it's 5-star life with EcoBank. Can promise.
It's the most action-packed breakfast show in town. The hottest music, the best giveaways, the great interviews, and all the laughter and fun you can imagine. Don't miss the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. It's the best breakfast show in town. Coffee in your cup, enjoy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM. Coffee in your cup, enjoy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
You're welcome back. It's the Super Morning Show, and we're so glad you could join us. Wherever you are in the country, you've already made one of your first good decisions of the year by choosing the Super Morning Show. It's 8:21, and if you're in Kumasi listening to us on Love FM, keep it locked. And for those of you in the central region who are tuned in to ATL FM 100.5 megahertz, we love you very, very much. All right, so big and important conversations to have today. I hope you got your pen and your notebook near you, because it's the stuff you're going to hear on today's show that you will use to plan your year.
Yeah.
Successfully.
These things, companies pay for it in private consultation with the very best in the republic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they pay huge. If I ask him, they pay huge amount of money.
By him, you mean our guest, Professor Bokpin.
For this amount of work.
Yeah.
Very huge amount of money. You are getting it for free. Every door should be charging you. Very sure you should do subscription service for this one. Yeah. So you should take your notebooks serious.
Yes, Professor Godfred Bokpin is our guest in the studio. Ben Wachi from ASEP joins us over the phone, and once again, valuable resource. And they're both going to help us look into the crystal ball and see how 2024 is going to go in terms of the economy and in terms of the power sector. These are two crucial areas for any business, any individual who really wants to plan and successfully navigate 2024. Prof, how nice to see you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Indeed.
Happy New Year.
And to you too.
Good morning to our cherished listeners.
Indeed. I hope the family and everybody is well.
By God's grace.
Fantastic. All right, more from Prof in a moment, as well as Ben Bwachi, who will join us electronically. Now, the Office of the Registrar of Companies, ORC, has introduced premium services in response to your request for fast track service. Now, the Prestige Center will offer a bouquet of services, including registration of business names, that's sole proprietorship, companies, professional bodies, updating of businesses from the historical database dubbed re-registration, filing of annual returns, and renewal of businesses with the delivery of certificates and profiles in 24 hours. Please come and experience a premium class service. Go visit the ORC office, which is at the Registrar General's Department in Accra, and you can call them on their hotline. It's 0302 666 081. You can also try 0302 664 791 to 793 for further information, or send a WhatsApp or Telegram to 055 765 3130. You can also find them on social media. They are at ORC Ghana on all social media platforms. ORC, a trusted partner for business.
Now, if you want to experience the excellence and global recognition of British education, you can ask Ojo Jansen. Also combined with convenience and affordability here in Ghana at Lancaster University, you can expand your horizons and elevate your career prospects with a British degree delivered right to your doorstep. Apply now and embark on a transformative educational journey that will shape your future. Admissions are currently open for the January intake. This is January 2024 anyway. For more information, please visit the website lancaster.edu.gh. You can also contact us via email at admissions@lancaster.edu.gh or call us at +233 0302 218 989 or 020-960-7008. Lancaster University, Ghana, the only British university campus in the entire West African sub-region.
Very important. All right, now listen, when we say insurance that gives you more, listen, we mean more. Your car deserves the best, so get more for your protection with a motor insurance policy from ABSA, underwritten by Hollard Insurance. Now, with the motor insurance policy from ABSA, underwritten by Hollard, you can choose from their comprehensive third-party or third-party fire and theft policies to ensure your vehicles stay protected. You also enjoy post-repair inspection, free delivery of your vehicle after repair, free roadside assistance in Accra, Tema, Kumasi and Sunyani, that's important, and more when you sign up for their comprehensive cover. So go on, get more for your protection with the motor insurance policy from ABSA, underwritten by Hollard Insurance. Discover how to get things done at absa.com.gh or the nearest ABSA branch. Terms and conditions apply.
I wanted this one to start with a jazz instrumental because for those of us jazz enthusiasts, or if you're just a lover of good music, the way some is
Raymond, this group you are trying to add yourself to
with my jazz enthusiasm,
this group that you are trying to add yourself to, they don't recognize you. They do not know you.
Oh,
please.
Okay, well, I'll give references to them. Get ready to dive into 4 days of pure
musical delight. Don't miss the electrifying Jazz in January music festival coming your way this new year, promising to thrill you with rhythms that will captivate your soul. World-class musicians performing the American jazz saxophonist Jeff Kashua, America's Songbird Mima Clayton, and also the Native Vibe Band, the GH Jazz Collective, Kevin Flannery with Lamont Dozier Jr. and many more. Could you these names you've not heard before, but you know they are industry people. We know ourselves. Yeah, we are industry people. We are
the industry person.
No, say it's not from my hometown, so you should understand. It's not everything that I'll be able to say properly. Yeah, mark your calendars from the 4th to the 7th of January at the +233 Jazz Bar and Grill. Gates open at exactly 7 p.m. Show starts at 8 p.m. and the tickets just 400 cedi for the entire festival. That's 200 cedi per show. For tickets and reservation, please call 0233-233-233 now. Jazz in January Festival is powered by the Ghana Jazz Foundation in partnership with +233 Jazz Bar and Grill and Joy Entertainment.
That's right. All right, listen, let's get to it. Let's start, if you will, with the economy. By the way, good morning to you, Ben Boache, Executive Director of Africa Center for Energy Policy. He joins us via Zoom. Good morning to you and Happy New Year.
Good morning, Kojo. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to our friends in the studio and also to Ghanaians. And happy to hear professors on the line.
Wonderful. It's great to have you, Ben. Today we expect to learn a lot. Maybe we'll start off with the economy, Prof. They say the best predictor of future events are past events. So maybe we'll take a very quick wrap of some of the big signposts in our economy in 2023. Let's listen to this.
This opportunity to discuss the issue of our return to the IMF. Yes, I know this government assured the nation of Ghana beyond aid and our plans and programs for economic transformation have been designed to achieve just that. And indeed, I do say that Ghana will not embark on an IMF program.
The IMF, again, is not a demonic institution. What we call conditionalities are in fact prescriptions that ensure that you live within your means.
Colleagues and ladies and gentlemen, only this week, in fact last week, the annual report and the financial statement of the Bank of Ghana was released. This report depicted the catastrophic decline of the Central Bank of Ghana into a bottomless pit. The report revealed the following astonishing facts. 1. The Bank of Ghana recorded a staggering loss of 60.8 billion Ghana cedis, which is equivalent of $6 billion US. This is twice the amount we are to receive from the recent IMF bailout.
To extend, Mr. Speaker, the zero rate of VAT on locally manufactured African prints for 2 more years. Mr. Speaker, to waive import duties on imports of electric vehicles for public transportation for a period of 8 years. Mr. Speaker, to waive import duties on semi-knocked down and completely knocked down electric vehicles imported by registered EV assembly companies in Ghana for a period of 8 years. Mr. Speaker, to extend zero rate of VAT on locally assembled vehicles for 2 more years. Mr. Speaker, to zero rate VAT on locally produced sanitary pads. Mr. Speaker.
Today, I hear John Mahama has a new idea that he wants a 24-hour economy. I say, I don't know where he got the idea from, but it is not a bright idea.
You must understand that the country does not belong to one person. It does not belong to 2 families. It does not belong to the people in power. It belongs to us. How you break a hospital knowing that people go there to receive medical attention that saves lives, and for years you have not built it up.
How many sources of income did I mention? 4. And I take the trotro every day because I can't afford anything. Are you saying Uber, please? Let's be serious. I I saw a tweet that says the politicians probably like their belly full. I do 010 or 001. Do you know what that means? No eating breakfast, no eating lunch. You just eat supper.
Listen to me. I campaigned for this government. I was the one doing 4 more for Nana. Listen, at some point I campaigned for this government with the hopes that when they come to power, whatever they are preaching, whatever their message, whatever is their campaign message, they will implement it. Today we are here. Have you seen I almost died on the motorway. My rim, my tire actually, I drove into a pit. What do you want them to do?
I am very angry. I'm more angrier this morning. People are dying each day. The dying list is machine in Kolebu Gospel. Do you know the number of people who died? A 24-year-old boy died this morning. His father is a teacher. His father is a teacher. Gave over 30 years of his life to the service. Could not afford transplants. Could not afford dialysis. 400 cedis a week. What do you mean? Do you know how much taxes they check out every day? The cost of living. But you bring in flowers for your daughter's birthday to celebrate 11. God will judge the government. Somebody who built his career on protest. He built his career on protest. God will judge him.
Morning show.
Yeah, so quite a year. Quite a year. And I mean, listening through that, it's quite clear. I mean, we were saying to each other while we were listening to that Ghana has survived a lot.
Yeah.
We've been quite resilient. But how much of this, Prof, is a predictor of 2024?
Well, as you rightly said, I mean, if you want to know the future, I mean, the past is there to guide you. And I think that there are few Ghanaians who will say that 2023 hasn't been difficult. It's been an enduring year. Coming from 2022, when we made a call to the IMF, we delayed, and therefore the deterioration actually manifested explicitly in various forms. Of course, it is clear from literature that when you aid economic disruptions, you suddenly just can't bottom up or just jumpstart the economy suddenly. It's going to take a while. And the cost of correcting that economic disruptions could be very huge. And I'm looking at it from this perspective so that we are a bit moderate and mindful how we celebrate the recovery we are seeing, because it's coming at a great price. What is the price? Since 1992, just a little bit of history, we had used just one medium to correct imbalances in our economy. It has usually been fiscal consolidation. So if you check from 1996, soon after every election, or when we go through this commodity crisis and the rest of them, the headline you will see associated with our budget has been fiscal consolidation. It's a correcting measure made up of revenue enhancement, expenditure restraint. The combination you use is up to the country. Yes. So fiscal consolidation, usually we have 4 ways of judging it. The pace, it can be front loaded, the adjustment can be quick, you front load it, and that's what we are doing now.
Right.
Okay. And then we're also looking at the mix. Is it just expenditure based or revenue based or both? We are doing both, and we've been doing both over the years. And then the next level is the financing. Now, we had gone through a lot and gotten to the stage where in 2022, fiscal adjustment alone was considered to be inadequate. That tells you the extent of the deterioration, for which reason the traditional medicine we had been taking was no longer adequate. Now, what is the next level of medicine? We call that one debt restructuring. In the time past, we had embraced debt restructuring, but it was largely external. In fact, even in the 70s, the unilateral debt repudiation announced by General Champon was also a form of debt restructuring. Our total external debt at that time was just around $94.4 million or so in terms of external debt. We said we couldn't pay. All right. Then we went through HEPIC. the Multilateral Debt Relief Initiative. Now, if you put all these things together, there was no way we could restore debt sustainability by focusing on the traditional means. And therefore, we had to do domestic debt exchange. Now, and this is one of the impactful interventions we've had to impose on ourselves. So, and all of this put together with the taxes and the expenditure rationalization, represent the cost, the sacrifice we had to put on the table in order to have the recovery. Now, the interesting thing is that this adjustment cost hadn't been shared equitably. Okay, and in the past 25 years, you will see that anytime we are going through these adjustments, we offload them. Of course, we can preach burden sharing and practice burden transfer. And we've been transferring all of that to households and then the private sector. So you can see taxes, and then the debt restructuring, largely households and private sector. Now we are also restructuring the external one. So the recovery we are seeing is at a great cost.
Who do you think is going to bear the biggest brunt of this cost in 2024?
It's going to be the same households and the private sector. Ghana is not at the stage where we will actually practice private sector-led economic transformation and inclusive productivity growth. We are not there yet. We've been talking about the private sector as the engine of growth, but it doesn't feature prominently in implementation of policies and programs that actually put the interest of the private sector ahead of the public sector. And our resolve over the years is how do we make the public sector comfortable? To do so is at the expense of households and private sector. And that public sector that is collecting so much from household and private sector, if that public sector had been efficient in the delivery of public services, the net benefit will be positive. So in some European countries, they pay higher taxes.
Yeah.
But there's quality public service delivery. And therefore, even if you are paying more taxes, you are seeing the roads. If you are paying all kinds of levies, you are seeing the infrastructure. You are seeing how efficient the government is. But we don't have that here. We have a public sector that is largely corrupt and inefficient. And you don't need a prophet to tell you that an inefficient public sector represent cost to the private sector as it interacts with the public sector. You need an efficient, cost-efficient, lean approach that enables the private sector to have breathing space. Because if the public sector is corrupt, who is paying? It's the private sector. And all of that contributes to the high productive cost base of doing business. There is no way, if we continue like this, we will be able to ensure economic transformation and inclusive productivity growth. No, we will be unique to expect that outcome by doing the kind of things that we've been doing. So yeah, it's been quite, and we are not out of it. I mean, and let me put it that so that every Ghanaian, we have to be moderate with our expectations in terms of how growth is going to turn out and how it's going to benefit Ghanaian. I mean, you can have growth at different level. The economy can recover at different level, right? But before it will benefit the ordinary Ghanaian, we are looking at maintaining macroeconomic stability for not less than 15 years. We say in economics, low inflation is desirable in itself, but you need to maintain low for long. Right, we need to have low inflation of, let's say, about 6%, between 6% and 8% for not less than 15 years. Okay, then you begin to see how the macro level development begin to trickle down, begin to manifest at the micro level, at the household level. What we have seen over the years is some level of progress. Inflation comes down, then within the shortest possible time, it jumps up. That wide swings is not good for planning, it's not good for wealth preservation, and the rest of them. So yes, we are seeing some recovery, but it's not the kind of recovery that we will say we have arrived. So if you see the macro numbers, all of them are not telling the same story. They are all not pointing in the same direction. So if you see that way, you will be unique to conclude that you have turned the corner.
There's a point you made about inflation, and of course, somewhere 2022 we're doing 54%. That was massive.
End of 2022, 54.1%.
End of November we did like 26%, which was almost half what we had in 2022. The projection this year is to do 15%.
Yeah, it's still very high.
That's the point I'm coming to. Do you think, I mean, because to government that's what's celebrating, and that's a massive improvement, but would it translate into, let's say, lower prices for me, who will be going to the market to buy the basic things, ensuring that I enjoy a better life than in 2023?
No. There are several factors that could cause inflation to come down, subdue demand, and the rest of them. But in the first place, we are starting off from a higher base. Don't forget, if inflation is coming down, it doesn't necessarily mean that prices are coming down.
That's true.
No, it doesn't necessarily mean. And the point also is that the reason we could not conclude totally that we have turned the corner is that even that inflation, the marginality is very wide. If you take food inflation, we can say the average is 34%. But food inflation in the eastern region is more than 50%.
That's true.
In the northern region, it's more than 50%. Again, that same food inflation varies from region to region. So it's the average we are using. But within that same economy, you see variation. So somebody in the eastern region could not be saying I've turned the corner, because food inflation is more than 53%. Okay, just a couple of months ago, food inflation in Northeast was more than 75% in that same economy and the rest of them. Again, inflation varies from region to region, district to district. Even as we are all sitting here, we carry different inflation rate.
That's true.
Because your inflation is a reflection of your consumption basket. And we don't have the same consumption basket.
That's right.
Okay, so it varies. So we need to recognize that. If you see that variation, what it tells is that beyond general policies, you need targeted policies with a certain intention to drive some outcome beyond just general policy prescription. It's intention, which is important. Okay. Then again, if you look at inflation has come down, the policy rate is still at 30%. That was where we pegged it at the height of the crisis. The central bank is uncomfortable to take its legs off the accelerator. It tells you that risk hasn't moderated significantly. So policy rate is still there. Check the Ghana reference rate, whether it's trending downwards. It's 32.16%. So you ask yourself,
it should be awkward, right?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That all reasonable expectation.
Yeah, we are the situation where a single textbook cannot explain our problems. So you need to look at it from different angles and see whether all the macro variables are in the same direction and the rest of them. Of course, we do not expect that it will get worse, but who are we to expect that it will get worse for all the price that we have paid? Okay, people have lost their haircut. Okay, it's one of the most expensive things. We didn't even ask the creditors to choose the style of the haircut. The state selected the hairstyle for them.
Santu.
Yeah. We did all of that. Okay, so we've paid the price in order to have this recovery. So what we are seeing should not be unexpected.
Prof, we're coming back to you for more in a moment, but I want to bring in Ben Boakye so that we can also start to see the image of the energy sector, the power sector, as we go into 2024. And Ben, just before you come in, we also have a bit of a wrap up of some of the I don't think we can call them highlights of the energy sector
happenings
in 2023. Let's just call them events. Here it is.
We said, let's do something that the textbooks don't teach you. Let's do something that is out of the box. And this is why we said gold for oil. Thankfully, Ghana took its first delivery of oil under the Gold for Oil program.
I told the chairman, our main focus should be that, can we pay for the gas we procure? Simple. With this price, if you procure the gas from the IOCs, which is the international oil companies, can we pay them? If there's a deficit, how do you deal with that? And if we have done that, our job is finished. Because you purchase the raw gas. The gas comes in raw form. It comes with certain elements that you need to process at Atuabo. So the IOCs, which is the Jubilee and those things, theirs is the one the gas leaves the flange. They are done.
I can assure you that it will be resolved. I do not think that we're going to go back into the situation that we plunge into permanent darkness and for years. I think they will resolve it as quickly as possible. Because this is the policy direction of the government, that it will be inimical to the economy and the arrangements we find ourselves in to plunge the nation back to do so. So any technical solution will come speedily. That's the thinking of the government.
I would rather ECG is not operated the way it is operated now.
What do you mean by that?
There must be an element of privatization in ECG. There must be that hopefully will increase the level of two things: level of infusion, cash infusion into ECG. That will also change some of its practices.
I read with shock yesterday that the Electricity Company of Ghana had donated 200 motorbikes to Ghana Police Service. ECG has no business taking over the responsibility of the state to provide logistics for Ghana Police. ECG is in debt to the tune of billions of cedis. Indeed, 2 weeks ago, the Minister for Finance had to intervene to stop Seno Asogwe shutting down because of ECG's indebtedness to IPPs. For an entity that cannot pay its debtors, they have no business donating motorbikes to Ghana Police.
Even the state-owned companies who sell to other state-owned companies or elsewhere don't also get paid. So it can't be that, unless you are saying that they are also doing take and pay contracts. They are not doing take and pay contracts. So VRA, why is VRA not able to piling up receivables? Why is Bui Power piling up receivables? Bui Power claims that from around 2018, they had $300 million in receivables, which means that was money UCG should have paid them. They say it's now getting to $700 million. Is that take or pay? Where is that $400 million?
Morning Show. All right. Well, it looks like we kind of, muddled our way through 2023 by juju and tricks. At the end of the year, we started to see power cuts in some places, which the government continues to deny that it was load shedding. But now here we are. 2024 is upon us. Election year. We know that politically nobody wants the lights off. But what's the reality on the ground? What can we expect in the power sector in 2024, Ben?
Thanks, Kojo. I think 2024 we survived. We survived doing the same things. We survived piling up debts and trying to resolve them as the bills come. So you may be right to project that we will try to survive in 2024. And for some of us who keep analyzing the data and the numbers, we only worry about at what cost, that survival actually happens. If you look at the budget for 2023, our projection was that we're going to, at business as usual, support the energy sector with about 2.3 billion Ghana cedis. That is if we did nothing. If we're able to remodel our ways and change the trajectory, we could save that money for development. The bad news is that by end of year, if we reconcile the data, we would have spent much more than was projected. Interestingly, in the budget, the finance minister said we did 4 billion less than the 12 billion projected for the 3 quarters. But the reality is that if you owe and you haven't paid, it's not an achievement. You piled up the debt, you racked it up, it's still there, and a commitment for the state to pick up. So that is really the troubling part of an energy sector that is supposed to be business, power sold, revenue recovered, and everybody paid along the chain. But that's not what is happening. So you have the budget now and then being called upon to rescue the power sector. So everything else comes to a halt for the needs of IPPs and generators, transmitters, and distributors of power to be met before anything else. So that is a scenario that, you look at all things possible, we would have to go through for 2024 as well. I've seen letters and exchanges that happens during the Yuletide, where the sector, agencies and private companies had to, share out their actions to allow us to have the light on. For example, WAPCO wrote to GNPC, giving them the room to allow gas to flow, even though they were indebted close to $20 million, which ordinarily would have caused a cessation of gas flow to the power plants. But they extended their action, to this month, January. If we don't pay, they may want to curtail gas supply to us. We've also seen some actions from the IPPs. Abossey in December was wild, trying to get their money back. They managed to get $60 million from government. We don't know how they're going to push back on these delays in payments. And I keep saying that Abossey was one of the, considerate IPPs in the space. Suddenly, they are chasing their money. And I suspect that in 2024, given that it's an election year, all the IPPs are going to be looking for their money, because you don't want to push your debt to 2025 when there's a new government, a new negotiation, and the rest of it. So those are the threats we face. The budget says now that the under recoveries could be as high as 27 billion. In the medium-term trend for 2023, we were expecting that as business as usual, the payments will be around 22 billion. So now we're seeing about 5 billion adjustment, which tells you that we still don't have, a handle on what to do to actually solve the energy sector problems. Already, we are indebted close to $400 million for gas supplies to ENI. We have letters of credit with Stanchart. So that has become sort of a soft spot, a soft landing for borrowing to pay for gas that is consumed in the power sector, because interest rate is considerably low on those LCs. So what ENI does is that when we pile up the debt, they just go to the bank and draw down on the LCs, and government classify it as a loan to be paid in a year. So that cycle has continued, and I suspect that will continue, because there is no clear direction on how we resolve the energy sector problem. And if you listen to the videos I had Bright and others talk about, some of the challenges in the energy sector, we keep piling up the waste. Last year we fought so hard to stop some of the waste that we saw were being orchestrated and hung on the people of Ghana. For example, the gas pipeline that was being constructed to Kumasi, which we thought was premature, given the fact that we are so much in debt. And the worst you do in such a situation was to accumulate more debt. Over 2 billion has already been committed. Nobody listened to us. Parliament pretended to be investigating. A shady report was issued by our Thatcher's committee, rubber stamping the transaction. Now the pipeline is completed. There is no utilization. We have to start paying for it. All right. So that debt is also going to crystallize in 2022. We've been fighting some of the power sector decisions, IPPs being extended. AXA power plant we thought was a complete waste. They've been extended. They are underutilized. We are paying them. We fully paid for our Mary Power Plant over $510 million. It was an opportunity for us to use that power plant rather than extending any other contract. We packed it in the name of moving it to Kumasi and then extending other IPPs, and that plant is wasting away. And if you check with engineers of VRA and you check the status of that plant, we will still need to pump in a lot of money to bring it back to work. So these are some of the lousy decisions that are going on in the power sector that makes our situation much more precarious for 2024. But the reality is that we're going to rack up more debt. We're going to have to sacrifice the budget as IPPs cough. And my worry essentially is that the state-owned enterprises and entities in the space are going to really, really struggle. And the implication, if we are not careful, could be much more dire. Because you have the likes of Gridco, who depend solely on revenues from ECG, and they are not getting paid. If they don't get paid to maintain the grid infrastructure and the grid goes off, everybody loses power. And if they lose power, the sad part is that we're still going to pay for that power because the IPPs are committed on a long-term take-or-pay basis. So we have to pay them whether you need them or not. VRA is not going to get money. They will make money from their own sale of power to other businesses, but ECG will continue to underpay them because the IPPs will be needing the money. The IPP payments are over 70% in arrears, month-on-month basis. So that is also going to continue to pile up. But to sum it all up, Kojo, if you look at how we're behaving and how we're treating the energy sector, the reality is that you put our gold revenues together, you put our oil revenues together, and it's not enough to offset the mismanagement of the energy sector.
The issue on the minds of many, of course, we started a certain energy sector reform program on the back of the IMF program. Many people are worried about one thing. We are paying quarterly increases in electricity bills. Is that going to continue in 2024? Should I budget to pay more for electricity? And whether or not that will be justified? Yes, Ben.
Well, business as usual, you should expect some adjustment. If we are not willing to fix the inefficiencies, recover revenues from power sold, then the few faithfuls are going to have to pay for it. And that's been the trend. So we waste the energy, people steal the power, and if you are faithful enough to keep paying, then we always come to you to pay more. And that has proven not to be the solution. Just increasing the tariff, and the data shows the more you increase the tariff, the more irresponsible people get. Because if they cannot pay, they are much more enticed to steal the power.
But
and especially
our policy is to do full cost recovery.
Under the IMF program, yes.
Yes.
But it has failed, and the budget even recognizes that we've not been able to deliver on that. And given that it's even an election year where the political appetite is going to crash with the demands of the IMF to actually do cost recovery, it's not going to happen. But again, if you're talking about cost recovery, you have to break it down to see whether the average person is paying enough. If you're only collecting about 30% of the revenues that you're supposed to take from everybody, then the work is not really on adjustment. The work is on making sure that you can identify who is consuming power and go collect your money. And that is where the failure really is. So if you keep piling it on the few responsible citizens and consumers, you cannot be classifying that as cost recovery. You're only being lazy in delivering value and collecting revenue for power sold, and just thinking that you can keep adjusting the tariff. You look at the inefficiencies way back, when we started thinking about bringing in the private sector, it was around 23%. The benchmark was around 23%. We were supposed to reduce that in 5 years to about 18% of the commercial and technical losses. today is over 30%, and that has been absorbed as a benchmark by the PURC. So I don't know where we go from there. If we don't fix the inefficiencies, we will never get to that point where we can say that this is the cost recovery when we are only racking up the tariff on the few faithful ones.
Right. Well, if you just joined us, Professor Bokpin and Ben Boakye are helping us look into the crystal ball to see how 2024 will go in terms of the economy and energy. We're going to take a break, okay? But when we come back, look, they say we have turned a corner. But let's be real, okay? We're seeing more taxes. Inflation is still, phenomenally high compared to our neighbors. Our currency is still vulnerable. Interest rates are still up in the stratosphere and not coming down. We've already seen businesses closing up shop and running away from our shores just because they don't find it profitable to operate here anymore. So they say we have turned the corner, but will this year actually be easier economically than last year? Also, you know that usually in an election year, politics will step in to pump money into the energy sector and keep the lights on regardless. But will this be feasible? We've already asked the question about the influence of the IMF on this, political ability to keep the lights on. Will it be feasible? Also, let's not forget IMF wants higher tariffs. Can Ghanaians actually afford regular increases in tariffs in 2024? And is there any circumstance under which Owusu Bempah's prophecy can actually come to pass in 2024? Can something cause Dunkra in 2024? All right. Well, the good book says, "Lean not on your own understanding." So we will lean on Professor Bokpin and Ben Boakye's understanding.
All your ways, acknowledge him.
That's right.
And you will direct your path, not Professor Bokpin.
Well, we'll see what we can do with that when we come back from these messages.
Are you hoping to start university this January? If you want a British degree from a world-class university at a fraction of the cost, then join Lancaster University Ghana right here in Accra. With a diverse student community, vibrant campus life, and up to 50% scholarship to support your study, Lancaster University Ghana provides you with a world-class education that creates endless possibilities globally. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Apply to join Lancaster University Ghana, where learners become leaders. Admissions are currently open for our January 2024 intake. Apply now for our foundation program. For more information, contact us on +233 030 221 8989 or send an email to admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. Lancaster University Ghana, the only British university campus in West Africa.
The Ministry of the Interior wishes to inform all private security organizations, key cutting operators, rubber stamp and seals operators that the ministry will embark on a nationwide monitoring exercise from December 2023. The exercise is part of measures to sensitize the public and streamline the operations of these businesses. Notice is hereby given to private security organizations, key cutting operators, rubber stamp and seals operators that have not registered or renewed their licenses to ensure they comply with the laws and register or renew their licenses with the Ministry of the Interior to avoid sanctions. Peace, security and safety, our collective responsibility.
Hello, babe.
Hello.
Where are you?
I'm home watching football. What's up?
That reminds me. I hope we are going to Ivory Coast for the AFCON 2024 because I'm tired of watching it on TV.
Don't worry, babe. I've got everything under control.
Then my things are already packed though.
Abossey Travels and CAF are making it possible for you to experience AFCON 2024 live in Ivory Coast from 13th January 2024. You can choose to go by air at a rate starting from $1,200 per person and $2,350 for couple, or by road road at a rate starting from $890 per person and $1,750 for couple. Your flight, internal transport, daily breakfast, match ticket, and tours are all sorted. So what are you waiting for? Call 0595 500 817 or 0556 310 404 to book now. Abossey Travels, fuel life's beauty.
Hello, Linda. You won't believe what I am planning next. I want to start my postgraduate degree, buy a car, and build my dream home. But you know what's stopping me?
What's that, Mike?
Money, oh. That be my biggest wahala.
Oh, you are sorted, Kra. With a GCB Big Move personal loan promo, you can borrow up to a whopping 400,000 Ghana cedis at a significantly reduced interest rate in less than 24 hours.
Like, seriously? How do I qualify?
Yes, it's available to all GCB salary account holders. Plus, you get a 2-month grace period before you start to pay back.
Susket, I'm opening an account with GCB now.
Get a personal loan of up to 400,000 Ghana cedis at a significantly reduced interest rate in less than 24 hours. Call 0800 422 422 or visit your nearest GCB branch today to fund your next big move as we celebrate 70 years of greatness. T's and C's apply. GCB Bank, your bank for life.
Introducing Pick 4 from Game Park Games, the easiest lottery to play and win. Pick 4 numbers from 0 to 9 up to 3 times a day to become one of our daily winners. More moolah, more power. Play online at www.gameparkgames.com or dial *946# to play. Game Park Games is regulated by the National Lottery Authority, not for persons under 18. Play responsibly. Pick 4 from Game Park Games. More moolah, more power.
Y'all ready?
You better look for your shadow. The 90s jam is back. The golden era of urban music. The 90s, the nostalgia, the music.
True music.
The Shada, Cross Collars, Carcani, Fuel Injection, Fubu, LA Gear, Tommy Hilfiger, Paco, Pele Pele, DKNY, and many, many more. The dancers crisscross, shoop, crack it, breakdance, cabbage, and more. The Joy FM 90 Jam, 5th January 2024, rooftop of City Galleria Mall behind Accra Mall. The first and only certified jam of the new year, fully powered by Joy 99.7 FM, your super hits radio.
Coffee in your cup and Joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
All right, welcome back. It's the Super Morning Show, and this is the Crystal Ball Edition Part 1. We're looking into how 2024 is going to pan out in terms of our economy and our energy sector. We've got more to come in subsequent days. We'll be looking at our health sector, our education sector, and so forth. But we're starting off with the big ones, the economy and, of course, energy. Our guest, Professor Godfred Bokpin, Professor of Finance and an economist at the University of Ghana. Ben Boakye, of course, Executive Director of the Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP. And already we've learned so much. If you've just joined us, you've missed a little bit. But don't worry, you can catch up in good time. By the way, keep your text messages coming. We're seeing all of your views and opinions as you share them. Text messages on Super Morning Show are brought to you by GCB Bank PLC. GCB Personal Loan. Make that big move and dream a reality. Now, you have to make that big move with GCB's personal loan. GCB, your biggest and largest bank in Ghana, is offering GCB salaried account holders personal loans in less than 24 hours to fund your next big move. Now, with GCB's Big Move personal loan promo, you can access up to a whopping 400,000 Ghana cedis at a significantly reduced interest rate with a 2-month repayment grace period to meet your urgent financial obligations with a smile. It's time to make that big move And whether it's educational fee payment, buying a car, or building your dream home, GCB makes these dreams a reality and makes life easier for you, their customer. So let GCB lend you the needed support to make that big move to take care of those urgent personal needs. Visit any GCB branch or call 0800 422 422 for further inquiries. Terms and conditions apply. GCB, your bank for life. Now, listen, in 2024, don't let any month pass you by without giving yourself a treat, because it's going to be hard. All right. Now, here's an idea of a treat that you can afford, but which you will remember and which will be better every time you go back. Safari Valley Eco Park. Okay, they've got the Safari Wildlife Experience, which creates an environment that fosters the harmonious cohabitation of forest, water, humans, and wildlife. I'm talking zebra, sable antelope, llama, wallaby, fallow deer, Patagonian mara, and so many others. Prof. Bokpin, your colleague, Professor Peter Kote, is a witness of how wonderful Safari Valley Eco Park is, and he's enjoyed it economically at a starting price of 250 Ghana cedis, and it's also free for children up to 6 years. This place is only an hour outside Accra, and they are open from 6 a.m. until 8 p.m. each day. Go visit Safari Valley Eco Park with your friends and family today for the thrill of a lifetime. If you want to know more, go to safarivalleyresort.com. Check out Safari Valley on Instagram, or just call 059 691 4394. Okay, it's another festive season, and MTN is throwing a Christmas party just for you. It's the Just For You surprise offer tailored to your special taste. You can now enjoy discounted surprise offers this festive season when you use My MTN app, or when you dial *141# or *170#. Yeah, you're getting the most juicy data offers of between 1 gig and as much as 20 gig to browse and hit social media with all the Christmas photos and New Year videos. Remember, this offer lasts from now and continues for some time. Check out your special offer today. Terms and conditions apply. Okay, let's get back to it. Our guests are Ben Boakye and Professor Godfred Bokpin. We're trying to see how 2024 is going to pan out in terms of the economy and the power sector. Interesting details we've already picked up. First of all, Prof. Bokpin has made it quite clear that the burden of our recovery is being borne heavier by us, the private individuals and the business sector, than by the public sector. We've also learned from Ben Boakye that, look, our gold and oil revenues put together are not enough to offset the energy sector debt, and that debt is just going to keep growing because, of course, we're going to use more energy in 2024. So let's see what else we can learn. Prof, they keep telling us that we've turned the corner, but I think the factors are quite clear. We still have a very vulnerable currency. We still have an interest rate that is higher than our neighbors or any other country that I can think of in the sub-region at the moment. We are struggling under the weight of our debts. So really, they say we've turned the corner, but is 2024 going to be an easier year than 2023?
Okay, thank you. Typically, if we had turned the corner, then 2024 we should look forward to it with celebration. Right, because then there will be no corner to turn again. Right. But of course, I do recognize that we've made some progress. The worst moments are over, and therefore we've seen some recovery, some relative stability. I think that is good news. That is a good starting point to look into 2024. If you look at real economic activity, the first 3 quarters, it's still been contracting from the Bank of Ghana's data. Of course, the rate of contraction is slowing, but it's still negative. We've seen some pickup in some areas, including job advert in the 3rd quarter.
Oh yeah.
Not that significant though, but because if you look at that relative to the entry into the labor market, you will see that there's a huge gap in terms of unemployment. As we speak, 1.45 million Ghanaians are successfully unemployed, right? We are talking about over 6 million Ghanaians that are multidimensionally poor. Majority of them are food insecure. In fact, unemployment is high among females compared to males, and it's more urban. Okay. So we are getting more of our females accessing tertiary education and entering the labor market, but we are not creating decent jobs, especially in the formal wage economy, to absorb them. This requires policy interventions. We just can't leave that to chance, right? Then again, so that is job adverts. Of course, if you see electricity consumption is picked up, but of course, cement sale is going down. That already tells you that all is not well in all the aspects of the economy, especially with construction. Unless the evidence is that people are now building without cement and iron rods. Which I don't think so.
Which I doubt.
Yeah. So again, you can see that construction sector is not, but you need that sector. In fact, it's one of the labor-intensive subsectors of our economy. That if activity is picking up, there you expect that it would impact a lot of Ghana. In fact, a lot of the people you see on the streets, if the construction subsector had been doing well, you would have found a lot of them there. You would have seen the value chain. You would have seen the ladies also cooking for them whilst others are lifting mortar. Because not everybody who can sit in an air condition. Some people are meant to lift mortars. Somebody can lift you and your wife together, right? That is how they've built themselves for that. So we need to create avenues for all of them to find something to do and earn a living. Then again, if you look at port activity, we've seen the slowdown.
Yes.
Okay, we've seen the slowdown. In fact, you know the three conservative quarters, we've seen the slowdown, right? Again, that doesn't tell a unified story that we've turned the corner. Of course, we do not expect deterioration, so that is not something that we want to consider. So on the back of all of this, and looking into 2024, government has put its best foot forward. You can see that in the 2024 budget. Non-oil growth, we are looking at 2.1%. That's very small for a population that we are talking about. The kind of growth that will benefit Ghanaians, ordinary Ghanaians,
and create jobs.
And create jobs. Yeah. It's not 2.1%. And if you look at the growth drivers, they are not really going to come from the labor-intensive subsectors of the economy where we can create decent jobs, especially in the formal wage economy. Look, could you look at it this way? Between 2013 and 2021, nearly 20% of our GDP growth came from mining and the rest of them. And if you look at that, within that period also, job creation in those sectors have actually gone down. Okay, so we have honored jobless growth. Okay, so, and those days are over, right? So the narrative we want to push is that we are looking at growth beyond GDP. Right, because in fact the advanced countries, the Scandinavian and the others, are looking beyond GDP growth. Okay, so we are looking at job-rich growth. We are looking at inclusive growth. Okay, so and the recovery we are talking about right now is not job-rich. Once it's not job-rich, then it means that the redistribution of that growth is going to be limited, and that is why we
filling it in your pocket will be difficult.
As
in people getting jobs as a result of what the picture is painted from the macroeconomic indicators, it might not be the same. So that mismatch will be there, which may send a signal to people that no, it's not real.
Yeah, so if people say that the economy is doing well, no. In fact, we have seen growth that has left so many Ghanaians behind. In fact, a good way to put it is we are just pounding enough fufu for others to go and eat. And you can see it also reflecting in our balance of payment data. Trade balance is positive. Theoretically, it should contribute to the strengthening of the local currency, right? Because you are earning more than you actually need to meet your import demands. But the cedi is still depreciating. The problem is not the theory. You have to look at assumptions and aligning the theory. Then you have to look at the other component of the balance of payment. Then when it comes to services and income account, you see where the betrayal is. And that is a reflection of the low local content in our economy. Right, so you have these big companies, their exports are recorded in our books, but actually they don't repatriate all the earnings here. Okay, which would actually aid or offer cushion to the city. That is not happening. So and if you look at the export drive, the institutional units that are driving that, I mean, less than 10% of them are Ghanaian owned. Okay, so you can't really say that this economy is yours. You understand that? Then the other bit to keep in mind is that, you know, the way we've designed our tax system is also not appropriate, right? So if you say tax to GDP ratio is low, it's simply because over the years we have not been growing a taxable economy. Okay, so how do you grow a taxable economy? Okay, so because it's not every aspect of GDP and its redistribution that is taxable. We have to be intentional about growing taxable economy and aiding the redistribution of wealth. But we are not doing that. So we've seen positive growth, but that growth is benefiting a tiny few. Okay, whilst the majority are spectators and the rest of them. That is not good, and it's not safe for anyone. Now see what the growth, that kind of jobless growth has done. We've seen inequality widening, right? And that is not safe, even for the rich. It's always difficult protecting the privileged few in the midst of unsafe majority, right?
So a quote the president was actually quoting most of the time in the 2012, 2008, ahead
when he
of
was in opposition.
Yes. Okay. So there's work for us to do. We recognize that we've made some progress, but it would have been more meaningful if we would be moderate in celebrating our success. And this is why I'm saying so. We are still in the midst of negotiating with our creditors. So if you are having a cocktail celebration of turning the corner, give creditors money to them.
Thank you.
Okay, you are sitting on the coupons of creditors, over $2 billion. You are having a cocktail. You don't know how they are going to have their Christmas. So let's our actions tell the same story at the negotiation table. We are likely to be received favorably by our creditors and the rest of them. Remember that, and maybe one day we can have that conversation. You look at the G20 common framework backed by the IMF, and you see that there's a problem in there. And that is why we are having these challenges with when are we going to agree with our external and the rest of them. Because you look at the DSA and the burden on creditors to bail out Ghana is so huge. It's so huge.
Prof, you know, you said something earlier. You talked about how the burden of our recovery is heavier on the private sector, the individual, the business, than it is on the public sector.
The government is not sacrificing.
Indeed. And this is an analogy that I've used to explain this. My question comes from it. So I give the example of a father who is supposed to look after the family. But whatever money comes into the family, the father is spending most of it on himself instead of on the wife and children. Now, spending it on himself too, he's not using it to maybe buy healthy food so that he'll be strong to protect the family. He's using it to buy fatty foods that are making him less of a capable protector to the family. So the money is going to him, and the output of it is to nobody's benefit. Now, with that in mind, the solution is either to force father to spend the money on good things so that everybody benefits, indirectly, or force him to give the money to mother and children directly. So in our setting, how do we either force government to ensure rather instead of spending all the money on government using it to do this, government using it to do that, to rather create the enabling environment for private sector to thrive? How do we either make them do that, or if they insist on using the money themselves, how do we force them to actually account for the money that they spend in 2024?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Great. So we have a role to play. We elected them. We actually don't write an appointment letter for them. They decide how they have to be paid. Of course, committee here and the rest of them. But I think that it's increasingly becoming clearer to even the politicians that our governance is becoming unbearable. That there's an urgent need to save Ghana's democracy from itself. That is different from proposing an alternative. Right? How do we make democracy work for the ordinary Ghanaian? How do we ensure that the democratic dividend trickles down. But you see, we just can't wait. Ghanaians should understand that you merely just can't go and vote once in 4 years during the AGM and sit back and expect that the democratic dividend will trickle down. It will not, because it has not, and there's no evidence that it's going to going forward. So we all have to be active in demanding accountability. To do so, we have to learn to bury our political differences, tribal, whatever, and then we have to learn to pursue the common good. The kind of change we want must begin with self also, as individuals, and then also perhaps all of us coming on board. But we cannot look to those who are extremely vulnerable on the streets, because the way they will cause reforms, we cannot bear it. So what Ghana needs right now is the middle class. The missing middle has been a problem in our democracy. Okay. And the missing middle, we were supposed to interface between the very vulnerable and then the
ruling class.
Okay. But we have been very quiet. But now, it's not so. We had behaved like a tortoise. Now our back is being, there is heat now. Because we have gotten, every Ghanaian should know, especially in the middle class, that the country has gotten to the stage where the abuse of tax revenue is no longer enough. That is why now they are after our investment and savings in bonds and the rest of them. It's no longer safe. So to think that, I earn my salary, I put up my house, you fence it, and these days people are buying gates in front of their house, which is even stronger than the gate in front of hell, right? Just to protect themselves. Look at the cost. Look at the cost Ghanaians are incurring to ensure personal security. Okay, and yet we are still not safe. And the rest of it. So I think that every Ghanaian, especially in the middle class, less, I don't know what we will lose if we see that something is black and we say it is black. What would we lose? Why can't we just speak the truth? I don't know. I mean, and sometimes people feel like, if you try to be professional about it, then it means that you are consistent or something. But remember that when we talk about these macro numbers, if you lift the veil, it's human life. It's human life. We are talking about life and the rest of them. So you go to the embassies right now. You see Ghanaians at the embassies during the day. In the night, they are at the airport. They are leaving. Okay, they are leaving. Okay, we have used our limited resources to train people, and we needed their services here to build our economy. They are leaving. Okay, if you look at the medical sector alone, the average cost of training a medical doctor is more than $60,000. From beginning to the end. And when they are ready to serve the country, we should be sad as a country to see that professionals are living like this. And you see, the people perhaps that you would expect them to leave should be those on the street who are worrying us. They will never get visa. They are smart, right?
Yes.
So they are giving the visa to the health professionals. These are ready made.
That they didn't train.
They didn't spend $1 sterling or whatever to train them. But they can have them. Why wouldn't they give them visa? They are going to Canada, they are going to UK, and the rest of them. Those who are staying, maybe God has sent them a WhatsApp that they should stay.
I want to bring in Ben at this point. And the big question before we took the break was, look, is there something that can actually happen that would make the prophecy of Owusu Bempah that this year there will be Dumkra? Is there some circumstance under which that could happen, Ben?
I'm hearing this prophecy for the first time.
Oh, okay. Yes, we've been regaled with it over the past 2 days.
Maybe we should stop looking at the data and put on our sackcloth and ashes, because that's the only way in the Christian realm you can deal with prophecies of that nature. But let's come back to Ghana for a second. Yes, so I think we really need to pay attention to the critical things that ought to be done. Particularly, I'm worried about the state agencies that are providing significant power and also managing the backbone of the power sector. I mean, I'm talking about VRA and GRIDCO. GRIDCO in particular is in a very dire state. I understand recent times they've even been borrowing to pay salaries because they're not getting money from the power sector, because we prioritize IPPs and not the state agencies. But if GRIDCO's system collapses, then that prophecy becomes a reality. All right, so we need to really pay attention on that. VRA is also extremely critical. The hydro infrastructure has to be maintained. They need revenues to be able to do that. But we need to really look beyond 2024, because 2025, 2026, 2027, whatever, depends on what we do in 2024. All right, and therefore having that leadership to think through the problems and try to resolve them. We are already 10 years behind schedule on what we needed to do to really address the power sector challenges. 2014, a definite decision was made by the country to bring in the private sector to manage the distribution arm of the sector, so that we would have this recurrent under recoveries taken off the books of government. The politicians have failed to deliver on that. And much of this is really the self-dealings and the need to account for the political interest before the national interest. That is what has brought us where we are. And 2024, we are paying such significant amounts for under recoveries. We need to find ways to deviate from that so that we can build a sustainable economy. Otherwise, 2025, 2026, we will have a bigger problem on our hands in the energy sector to deal with. We'll be dealing with debt accumulation. We'll also be dealing with recurrent debt. And as I indicated already, your resource revenue is not able to catch up with the recurrent or the accumulation of the debt. All right. So how do you even deal with the outstanding debt and the piled up? So we need to have that leadership and bold decisions to fix the energy sector in 2024. But again, it's going to be difficult because it's an election year, and that is why it's required that the sacrifices are made. And Prof, to disappoint you, you will still need to tighten your belt and speak the truth, and not worry about somebody wanting the reverse from you. And that is what we have to commit ourselves to doing, monitoring the space on a daily basis to see the decisions that are being made and to ensure that they are in the best interest of the country and how it survives beyond the elections.
So you know, before the break, we were talking about whether or not the IMF will have any kind of influence on how, you know, disciplined we are in the financing of that, you know, energy sector debt. Now, you feel that, you know, already the IMF has lost its grip on our, you know, discipline there, because they wanted us to actually pay realistic tariffs. But what they did say was that the tariffs should increase on the scheduled dates. Will that not still happen? Will we not still see the quarterly increases on schedule?
I think the IMF's interests are pretty much macro, right? So they are more interested in how you balance your books, right? So in the energy sector, they want you to stay current. And what that means is that you want to be able to pay the recurrent debt. As IPPs generate power, you have to be able to pay them. As the transmitter transmits power, you have to be able to pay them, and not rely on the budget to do that. However, if the budget wants to do that, at the macro level, the IMF is interested in you ensuring that your total expenditure matches some allowable revenue stream, right? So that you're not piling more debt. So if you are a government and you are willing to say, I'm not even going to pay school fees, all that I'm going to use my money to do is to pay for the energy sector debt, IMF can give you room to do that. There's a program to ensure that you are able to improve the energy sector, which they are doing, but it's not working. But IMF is not going to be too bothered once the macro shows that you are able to balance your books to a reasonable extent. You can forget about agri sector, you can forget about your social interventions and be able to pay for your debt. And that's why they force government to put the under recoveries in the budget, so that you are showing on the expenditure side what you are going to do to be able to address the energy sector problem. They are interested in ensuring that we are staying current, but if you don't want to do it, They're not going to put a knife to your throat to do that. They want to make sure that the overall picture looks like you are turning the corner, and that is what the IMF will be interested in.
I'm sure you have hinted at this in different forms. You mentioned boldly that the biggest problem in the sector is mismanagement. Is it that we have incompetent people, or we have competent people who are just corrupt, or they are just not able to manage the system because the system itself is broken?
I think the system is not short of competent people. I don't believe that managing the power sector is beyond anybody in that space. I reduce everything to corruption and political dealings. You may be contested by saying it's corruption and they will ask you for the data. But when you have a power sector that hardly does open and competitive tender, the only motivation from any theoretical perspective will be self-dealing and interest, because they are interested in those high, paying contracts where the billions are paid, and that is where they want to deal with people directly and make money, and that is how it happens, and that's why you don't see open competitive bidding in that space, either for procurement of service or procurement of power plants. And there is replete data to show that when you have a system like that, it's just self-dealing and corruption, and that is what has bedeviled us, and we can't have a handle on the inefficiencies in the sector. So what ordinarily will cost you $2, somebody go bring it $5 and we have to pay for it. All right, and we keep talking about it, we keep murmuring over it, and nobody cares, because it is not an individual's pocket, it is our collective pocket that goes to address some of these inefficiencies.
We have been told Matthew Opoku-Prempeh is the magic wand who is keeping our lights on. You are the expert in the sector. Is this anywhere near the truth?
I usually don't want to personalize the issue. It's a government issue, right? And these are issues that on a daily basis are before the cabinet, they are before the economic management team, they are before the finance ministry. And in fact, some significant decisions of the energy sector are taken by the finance ministry because they are the ones that ultimately pay. So it's a government issue. Of course, he's the sector minister, and the buck stops with him also to ensure that the sector is run efficiently. But what I've seen in the space is that we only realize that there's a problem when the invoice is on the table, right? When the IPP brings their invoice, and then everybody's running around. But on a daily basis, the decisions that we are taking are terrible, and we can't run away from it. Either procurement or negotiations or whatever it is, they are terrible. I mean, you are calling the IPPs to come to the table for a haircut, and you are not telling them how you are addressing the future. How does the future look for them? Are you going to call them every month to come and sit for a haircut? They're not going to do that. They have a chamber that wanted to engage to ensure that collectively they can agree on what that future looks like. Government says, I want to deal with them individually because they have individual agreements with the government. But that's hypocritical, because when you want debt renegotiation and you wanted to give us haircuts, you didn't call all of us individually into the barber shop. You just sat in your office and gave us a collective haircut. And so you have a group that you are so indebted to that you could also quickly negotiate a roadmap, let all of them be part of the solution on how we address the inefficiencies. You said, no, I want to do an individual negotiation with the various IPPs, and it's not working. And the budget itself says, the under recoveries as a result of delays of negotiations. These negotiations and delays, we've been hearing them since 2018.
Yeah.
All right. What is it that we can't do? Is it that we don't have capable people at the table to negotiate, or we don't know that some things are just impossible to negotiate and we have to move on as a country with the alternative, or we don't even have a plan B beyond negotiations? So these are real issues that we need to address, going forward. And it's always as if it's become usual. Once you can put it on paper, we are negotiating, it's enough, and then you can go to sleep. Once you can tell the people that we are paying the bills, it's enough, you can go to sleep. And that has really been the problem that we have on our hands. But we need to have clear-cut solutions, honest data that we can interpret to find a solution for it. I mean, now ERC is publishing how much the cash waterfall mechanism is paying to the IPPs.
Yeah.
And you look at that report, and they are not telling you how much the debt actually looks like. So they are still hiding the data. They don't want to tell you how much debt accumulated in the month, for which the collection was able to pay a certain amount. They are not telling you. But the reality is that we are doing about 30%. So the 70% that government has to pay, nobody's telling you how that number looks like. All right? And we are happily hiding the data, only to be thrown at us at some odd moment, and then we don't know what to do with it. All right? So these are critical things that we need to keep pushing for that clarity, transparency, and commitment to nation building, ultimately, because that's the power sector we're talking about here. We can't run this economy without power.
Yeah, I've got to say, Ben and Prof, I've been getting text messages from business owners, from captains of industry, who are doing what we ask them to do, making notes and saying a big thank you to the two of you for really giving them as clear as possible a glance, a glimpse into the crystal ball, so that they can make concrete decisions, based on the intel and analysis that you have shared this morning. So I mean, we are eternally grateful to the two of you for the time you've spent with us this morning. We really, really appreciate it. Ben Boakye, of course, is the Executive Director of ACEP, the Africa Center for Energy Policy. And Professor Godfred Bokpin needs no introduction, a professor of finance and an economist at the University of Ghana. God bless you both for your time with us this morning.
Thank you for having me on your show this morning.
It's always a pleasure.
Good morning, Ben.
All right, listen, there's more to come on the Super Morning Show. Don't go anywhere. We're back after these.
Jingle bells all the way to a magical Christmas with Melcom this December. From 4th December 2023 to 7th January 2024. Save big with discounts up to 60% on countless items at any Melcom store nationwide. Let Melcom make this Christmas a memorable one for you and the entire family. This offer is valid in store and online at www.melcom.com. Terms and conditions apply. Melcom, where Santa shops.
Let me share my experience with you at the new Aqua Safari Resorts. When you arrive, you're greeted by warm smiles and introduced to your 24-hour butler who already has your itinerary sorted. Enjoy water sports activities like jet ski rides, kayaking, water sliding, flyboarding, and castanet fishing. You can even have your lunch here on the boat cruise. Let the tour guides take you through the sceneries of the mangrove forest, the friendliness of the animals, while you pet and feed them. We chose to have our breakfast with a beautiful sunrise right in front of our cabin.
Visit Aqua Safari Eco Resort in Ghana, bringing you closer to nature.
Introducing Pick 4 from Game Park Games, the easiest lottery to play and win. Pick 4 numbers from 0 to 9 up to 3 times a day to become one of our daily winners. More moolah, more power. Play online at www.gameparkgames.com or dial *946# to play. Game Park Games is regulated by the National Lottery Authority, not for persons under 18. Play responsibly. Pick 4 from Game Park Games. More moolah, more power.
Are you looking for a university that will prepare you for the challenges of tomorrow? Look no further than Academic City University College. With a focus on innovation and experiential learning, you'll get hands-on experience in your field. Our world-class faculty will guide you every step of the way, and our collaborative approach to learning will prepare you for success in today's global economy. So if you are ready to make your mark on the world, Academic City University College is here to help you succeed. Apply now at our website www.act.edu.gh or call us on 059-403-0308. Academic City University College, educating future-ready leaders.
There is something that drives you. The very thought of it fuels you. And even when the road gets rocky, you keep going, just to get the results that matter. It could be about you. It could be the lives you touch. It could be about someone special or something dear to your heart. Such results leave a sweet lingering smile, a sense of fulfillment. That's why you work till late, yet rise with the sun. Yes, drive knows no limit. Do it with Stanbic Bank, where we spur you on to get the results that matter.
National Health Insurance.
Great news! The National Health Insurance Scheme (NHIS) has waived the waiting period for all members aged 70 years and above. All 70 years and above are also exempted from paying a premium. Enrollment and renewal are absolutely free on the NHIS. Members who are 70 years and above can automatically access healthcare when they newly register with the NHIS or renew their membership annually. You are no longer required to serve the 1-month waiting period for late renewals. Dad, mom, grandpa, and grandma, let your old age be filled with good health and access instant healthcare at zero cost on the NHIS today. Download the My NHIS mobile app to register with your Ghana card or visit the nearest NHIS office. Terms and conditions apply. For details, contact the NHIS call center on 054-444-6447 or 0302-746-447. NHIS, your access to quality healthcare. This message is brought to you by the United States Agency for International Development, USAID.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
Mafioso. How you figure that your team can affect my cream? Gold and platinum plaque since I stepped on the scene. Now I mean, keep the scene, jacuzzi full of women. She hitting me and him, much love like Wimbledon. While screaming killer, I'm overseas in my villa. With mama suits nothing iller. Swing switch the plan, cop the Lexus land, sea gutter. Rockefeller, 400s and better. Little C's push threes with 5 in his eyes. Knock and knock, go cry by Mary Blige. I die for my back and steel. Chicken heads with sex appeal. Reveal sexual acts up in Capone's act. The chocolate dime, watch the mafia shine. Girls get your own, can't touch a dime of mine. And if you don't stop, then we won't stop. Continuous leader. You can be as good as the best of them, but as bad as the worst. So don't test me. You better move over. You can be as good as the best of them, but as bad as the worst. So don't test me. You better move over.
Big Mama, keys in Tijuana. Some call me Donna, Karen or Amani. Gas for the Panani, for brown nose crushers, cat killing lovers, ignorant mother. Drop a Benz on Miata, this honey's got her. Sweet pinata, 6-shotter. Louis Kim the Black, Erica Kane, and who remains in Chanel frames and animals of all kinds. Russian Fendi staples with matching pool tapes. Read the label.
Mafia.
Admiring my shoes by Gucci. I be eating sushi, playing with my counting Lucci. I got banks to rob, convertible sobs. I'm married to the mob.
And if you don't stop, then we won't stop. Continuously to get you can be as good as the best of them, but as bad as the worst. So don't test me. You better move over. You can be as good as the best of them, but as bad as the worst. So don't test me. You better move over. Come on. Sicker than your average. Pop a twist cabbage off instinct. Just don't think. Stink pink gators. My Detroit players. Tim's for my hooligans in Brooklyn. That's their right. If they head right, Biggie there every night. Papa been soon since days of under rules. Never lose. Never choose. 99.7 FM. Talk goes through us. Girls want to us. Wanna do us. Screw us. Who us? Yeah, Papa and Pump. Close like Starsky and Hutch. Stick to clutch. Yeah, I squeeze 3 at your cherry M3. Bang every MC easily. Recently, frontin' ain't saying nothing, so I just speak my peace. Keep my peace. Cubans with the Jesus peace. With my peace. Packing, asking who want it. You got it. Flaunt it. That Brooklyn bull. We on it.
Coffee in your cup, joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
Can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me, and I just love your flashy ways. Guess that's why they broke in your soul.
I put NY onto DKNY. Miami, DC, prefer Versace.
That's right.
All Philly, no it's Moschino. Every cutie with the booty, boy the coochie. Now who's the real dookie? Meaning who's Philly? Rod, Frank White push the 6 or the Lexus LX 4.5. Bulletproof glass tips if I want some. Gon' blast sweet first. Ask questions like that's how most of these
Enjoy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet. On Joy 99.7 FM.
Cars and still leave you on the pavement. Condo paid for, no car payment. At my arraignment, note for the plaintiff. Your daughter's tied up in the Brooklyn basement. Face it, not guilty. That's how I stay true.